everybody. We're live. We're live. Hi. Yeah, wave and say hi. Terrorbilly Jean resubbed tier 2 for 16 months. Can you believe that?
Amazing.
Yeah. I haven't seen TBJ in forever.
Oh, let's get a. I'm gonna throw a hug out to TBJ in the chat there. You could spend feather points for throwing out hugs, but thank you so much. We had an offline follow from Fat and Crafty 5 days ago, so thank you for that. There we go. Yeah. Hi. There's the hugs hitting the chat. Okay, what is this that we're doing here tonight? I don't know. It's a Tuesday, and we're streaming here at FeatherFall Tabletop. That is weird. That is just weird. But here we go. Let's get into it. I don't have any sponsors to talk about tonight, so we're just going to dive right in. This is FeatherFall Tabletop presents Brindlewood Bay. Dad Overboard. This is the introductory one-shot from Brindlewood Bay, which is a rule set that just finished a Kickstarter. You can get it on Drive-Thru RPG. I think it's pay what you want. So, throw them some money. And you'll have this at your fingertips. But this is one of those one-shots in there called Dad Overboard. This is first time me running it, first time everybody playing it. So, it's pretty rules light. So I don't think we'll have any issues with rules or anything like that. But join us on this ride as we go. Let's see. Let's talk about. Again, it's Tuesday, and I'm all flustered. We are off this Wednesday with our Tomb of Annihilation playthrough, so we're just going to leapfrog that, and we'll go right into Thursday, where we are playing Wild Beyond the Witchlight. It's been 17 weeks since we last played, so it's time again that we emerge from our slumber and play some Wild Beyond the Witchlight. So we are playing that on Thursday. Week from Wednesday, we'll be back with Tomb of Annihilation, so check us out there. We are in Omu in Tomb of Annihilation, and we have one of the pieces that we need of 9. So we're 1/9 of the way there. We'll get there. All right, that's it. It's weird. No sponsors tonight. So let's see. How do I do this? Okay, so this is Brindlewood Bay, and our characters are all part of a book club called the Murder Mavens. And Debbie Snacks, there it is, 18 months. Whew. That's almost 2 years. Hype train is close, folks.
2 babies.
Already.
I forgot to talk about some other stuff. Holy cow. We have channel points. let's just get them all.
I was going to slide that in there real quick.
Thank you. We have channel points. You can spend them to do things. You can give our Murder Mavens here some rerolls. They might need it. So you can help them out with that. You could donate some channel points. You can donate real money. I'm not asking you to, but you can. And if you do that, half of that donation goes to the ASPCA.
Did you need my PayPal for the
right off the top? Yeah, just put it in chat there. Your social security number as well. If you so choose to donate some money. That'll bring about, maybe in this set, it might bring about some more clues for our Murder Mavens. They are on a hunt for clues. So any donation is going to give them some clues. And half that donation, again, goes to the ASPCA. So help out those animals. Ginkgo reminded me we do usually have channel sounds, but not tonight because I'm streaming from my computer and I don't have the authority to unlock those sounds. So sorry, Ginkgo, it's going to be quiet tonight, but you can donate channel points to redeem some sounds. We have a backlog of 30 to 40 of those that need to happen. We'll get there sometime. But okay, there. I think that's everything. Whew. Join our Discord. There. Join our Discord. Do that. All right. Murder Mavens. You are part of a book club called the Murder Mavens. Your favorite author is I can't remember the author's name. Now I'm
Miss Delacourt. Is that it?
Robin
Masterson.
Masterson.
The character. Robin Masterson is your favorite author, and your favorite character is Amanda Delacourt. And you have all been meeting for quite some time, talking about her latest mysteries and having a good time. You gather together in the attic or in the upper loft of the Candlelight Booksellers for your weekly meeting of the Murder Mavens Mystery Club. So that's where you are tonight as we pick up on this episode of Brindlewood Bay. We're going to get into some character introductions in a second here, but the camera pans around the loft where you hold this Murder Mavens meeting. We see all of you kind of in your round table discussion circle. Who do we see? Who do we see? I'm going to start with Church. Tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about your character, and then I want you to tell me about your cozy activity and some of those things that we would find.
I am Violet Sinclair. I'm very pleased to meet you all. I am a transplant from Tupelo, Mississippi, where I met, fell in love with, and married my rather delicious husband, Jim. God rest his merry soul. Jim Sinclair was a fighter pilot with the United States Air Force and a hero. God's bless that man. He's long gone now, and I am here in Brindlewood Bay with my dear friends and enjoying life to the best of my ability in my small little condominium where I have very many lovely cats, and I will tell you all their names eventually, but I really don't want to bore you all right now. I do like to read murder mysteries, of course, and discuss them with my friends, and I am an avid knitter, as you can see from my beloved cardigan and the lovely cardigans I have given all of my friends. My Vespa Pepper also has a cardigan, as do all of my cats and the cats that hang out outside, and the neighbor and the neighbor's children and the neighbor's pets. I think I put one on the light post outside one night just because I was a little bit on a tear that evening, got into the brandy. As far as what I like to carry, I, of course, have my trusty knitting needles, you know, the nice big long ones, the darning needles. I've also got a very large bag filled with yarn that I like to use for my knitting. And, of course, a mag light, because I drop things and lose them a lot, including my knitting needles. And me without my knitting needles is like a smoker without a cigarette. None of us want to see that.
Awesome. So what Church just did there, what Violet just did, was build his inventory, her inventory. So knitting needles, yarn, and one of those super mag lights that we all used to have. Okay, very good. Thank you, Violet. We're going to go ahead and move up the screen to Snacks. Tell us about your character, your Maven, and some of the things that they might find in their cozy place.
So my name is Margarita Rosita Chapa. I hail originally from Tamaulipas. Can't believe it, that Tamaulipas, Mexico. I was brought here when I was very young by my grandmother and my mother, and we would clean the houses here. You know, I was very hard worker and very fast. And I met the love of my life, Walter. He just meant the world to me, but his father didn't approve because they have you know, so much money, and but he wasn't a cruel man, so he paid for me to go away to school for hotel management, and while there I found a culinary program that was very interesting to me because I have learned to cook since I can remember with my abuela and my mama, and did very well. In fact, got to travel the world working in 5-star Michelin restaurants. It was wonderful to bring my culture of my people to everyone, because for me, food is such a passion. But, you know, there is only so much you can see in time, and so much that I came back here and I found my beloved Walter. He'd been married while I'd been gone, but he was widowed and had many children and needed help, and I was there, and our passion, it burned so hot again. But so we kept it clandestine, but you know, way to do that, and we were actually secretly married. So it came as quite a surprise when he passed away to his children that he left everything to me. So that is how I was able to go from cleaning these houses as a young girl to owning one of the largest. And I am thankful to the women of this club who have made me feel welcome. Violet, we have our cocktail hour with brandy, and I bring, tequila and rum, and we make lots of cocktails. But as I'm retired, I'm still enjoying to cook and cook for my friends. So my important place to be is I have a wonderful, beautiful kitchen, but it also has a wonderful sunroom with an outdoor kitchen, and that's where I like to be cozy with my little dog, Pepito, my little tiny little Chihuahua. Um, and because of this, I always have with me a wooden spoon because wooden spoon is so versatile to be using when you're cooking. My Kamal, because Kamal, you don't know if you can have one, and frankly, there have been times where I've had, a sous chef come after me a little too angry, and I've had to ward him off with the Kamal. It's essentially a large cast iron with a handle, one single. And finally, I will say, getting to the prestige that I had, you tend to have the ability to travel with many items or large items. So I also bring a little mogahete. My mogahete, essentially, if I find myself someplace and I want to grind up some spices or other herbs, I have this with me at all times. And so I just love to sit in my sunroom, enjoying a nice cafecita and with the smell of the bougainvilleas as well, and making fresh baked empanadas for my friends when they come over.
Oh, I can smell it. Anything else, Margarita?
You could call me, I know my name is very long, so if you want to call me Margie, Rita, Rosita. It's just call me Abuela. That's what the children and everyone calls me, Abuela. Abuela Rosa.
All right. We're going to move to the bottom corner. London, that's you. Go ahead and tell us about your maven and some of the things to be found in their cozy little area.
Yeah, my name is Betty Rose, and ladies, I'm so sorry, but I forgot to read the book again, and I know that y'all don't like that when I keep doing that, but I promise to read it. I promise to read it next time. The way that y'all talk about it, this one just seemed to be so good. Maybe I'll add it to my to be read list. So yeah, Betty Rose, husband was Eugene. And unlike Margarita, there was no passion. We drank a lot of gin, but we didn't have any kids. I don't have any pets, and I don't have any plants. Everything just dies except for my book club lady friends here. So that keeps me going. I started off as a banker. It was a very great job as a young woman. And then that's where I met Eugene. He was the son of the owner. And then after we got married, I just kind of quit being a banking, teller and traveling the world with him. So that was very exciting. We got to go all over the world and see all these great things. And I picked up so many different things on my adventures. I like to be eclectic is maybe my style that you could say. I'm this kind of hippie, bohemian kind of look. A lot of bright colors and bright jewelry and, big stones and big earrings. I got this Helen Mirren Bob. Don't you think she's just such a delight? I just love her so much. So I like her hair. And so that's kind of what I do. Try to look like I thought about getting some color in my hair, but I forgot to do that when I went to the hairdressers. But maybe next time. For my little cozy thing, I'm a painter. My lady friends had such wonderful hobbies and such wonderful things that I needed to pick up something too. But I haven't started painting yet. But I have this really nice room in my cozy little room, and I have this leather bound sketchbook where I have collected notes and ideas and thoughts with all the party planning and events and bank telling and travels that I did and all the paintings that I would paint if I ever did paint. I have a quill from the feather of a crow. It's solid black, so it's the only black thing that I own in my house. That's in the studio. And the other thing that I have, it's just so big I can't carry it with me anywhere. But it's my mini wet bar cart. That I have in the studio, that's just got my little highball glasses and my martini glasses and my crystal stirrer. So I really can't take that around anywhere. So I just really just kind of walk around with my martini glass for most of the time. And I promise I'll read the book next month.
There's always one in any book club. And tonight that's you. Thank you, Betty Rose, and always ready with the glass. I love it. All right. Last but not least, newcomer to the channel, Isha.
Newcomer.
Let us know about your maven and some of the things that they would find in their cozy little space.
For sure. Okay, so my maven's name is Lakshmi Banerjee. And, you know, as the daughter of immigrants, this country has just had a lot of pressure to overperform and have a highly successful career. And she did just that. She was a hotshot partner at a hedge fund. She's the youngest of the mavens and does not consider herself old or elderly or any of the above. And so now that she's been forced into retirement from her hedge fund, she spends most of her time throwing strategic charity events so that she can still maintain her brand and her network and her influence about town, basically. Her and her ex-husband were considered a power couple, but they split pretty quickly after he realized he couldn't live a lie anymore, and he ran off with his business partner and best friend, Steve. She's very happy for him that he's living in his truth now, but she's in the market to replace him. And she spent many months dating very unsuccessfully. Every time she goes into a new date, she always expects a paper resume and a Michelin star dinner from her would-be suitors. And, you know, she's really been upset with the dating pool. So she went to go talk to her therapist to reflect on why the world is a bad place and everyone in the world is wrong except for her. And her therapist told her to get a hobby, and so she joined this book club with her friends. And while she doesn't like to admit it, it's actually the best part of her week. And that's what she's doing now. Especially because she doesn't talk to her 3 grown children. She's too pushy for them, and they don't want to deal with that. So what she keeps on her everywhere she goes is her address book that's fully like a little paper book that she carries. Her iPhone with overly large icons and text so she can read. And she always has a power suit on. So that's what she always has with her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love them all so much. All right. Thank you, everybody. So there we go. There are our murder mavens. They're wrapping up their weekly meeting, again on the top floor of the Candlelight Booksellers. And you hear coming up the steps the familiar footsteps of one Sheriff Wyman Darrell Rimple. He's visited you all before, and his boots make a very distinct sound coming up the steps, echoing up the staircase and filling that upper floor of the Candlelight Booksellers. Before he shows up, as you all hear that, anything you want to say?
Well, actually, since I know you're in the market for a man, dear, and I don't mean to be pushy, but as your friend, I had a nice little chat with Betty, and we talked with Abuela about fixing you up with something that's going to guaranteed draw you in the next man of your dreams. I have been knitting it for a while. I used southwestern colors that are very energetic. Betty tells me that these will help attract the proper energy that you need. So I used bright pink, turquoise, and jade green in triangle patterns. It's almost done. Now, the sheriff here is a very nice man. I could at least give you a shawl version of it for now if you want to put it on before he gets here.
Yeah, you definitely want to put that on because you're always on that phone on the Tinders and on the matches. You're never going to meet no man on the phone. You have to do what Bible says, and the shawl is how you do it.
And yes, I am all for the vibrant colors. That's why I'm always surrounded by flowers and floral bright. So I think this shawl would be very effective as well. I agree wholeheartedly.
Like a bird on one of those Netflix specials that are so colorful and attracts a mate. This is what we're doing.
Well,
I really got to get some friends. This is insane.
I saw it on.
I fully ignore them and continue swiping on my phone, swiping at nothing. Like I just have too many icons on the screen. There's nothing going on my phone.
And as you do that, at the top of the stairs, kind of hunched over, catching his breath, is Sheriff Wyman Dalrymple, kind of breathing. I don't have an elevator to this place. And he starts moseying his way closer to you. Evening, ladies, and big inhales of breath as he's walking towards you.
Oh, evening, Sheriff. It's a
Evening,
fine night.
Sheriff.
Hello?
Yes, would you
Tip
like
of the
empanada?
Oh.
Like,
Well, yes, yeah, it will spoil my dinner, but don't tell the missus, all right? He walks over to the buffet that is left over from your meeting, and he does take one and a big bite. What would be in the filling of this empanada?
there would be pumpkin in this.
Ooh, that kind of pumpkin spice is...
It'll have a little bit. It'll have a little bit of anise in the dough, but the filling would be a nice, not overly sweet, pumpkin filling.
God.
That is lovely, but a little spicy for me, and he kind of sets it down.
Oh, look, sweetheart. All you got to do is pour you a little glass of that gin up there and wash it down, and that'll take the bite right off.
Points to the badge. I am still on the clock,
Oh,
Violet.
nobody's gonna fault you for taking a little tip here and there.
It's your word
All the
against
best
mine.
police officers do it.
Your word against mine, and he does pour himself a little. Well, I wish I was here on good terms, but it turns out I might need your help again.
Oh,
There been another death in Brindlewood Bay.
sure got
Unfortunately, and currently my hands are full with everything else going on that I need your... I'm not going to say expertise. I will not say that. But I do need your help, and, couldn't be more frustrated about asking you for this help, but if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to need you to look into this Kraus family, and the murder. I don't. The
Murder.
mysterious death of Mr. Kraus.
Mr. Kraus is dead.
Yes, Albert Kraus. And
Albert.
yes, and at that name coming out, Lakshmi. Did I say it right?
Mm-hmm.
Lakshmi.
Yep. Yeah.
You heard that Kraus name. You have met the wife of the Kraus family. Her name is Amanda.
Yeah.
What are the circumstances around that meeting? You know that she is kind of a promoter of charities and kind of in that same realm that you would have crossed paths before. What is the circumstances around that meeting, if you wouldn't mind?
We had a party planning committee, and I'm not going to say I usurped the throne from her, but let's just say I had better ideas.
Okay.
And so I don't really know about that family.
All right.
But we'll do you one favor if you help us out at the next charity event. I know your wife can cook a mean ziti.
And you're saying that to the sheriff?
I'm saying that to the sheriff.
Okay. We'll get to that question. Just to further flesh out your relationship with Amanda Kraus. Not on good terms? Maybe a little contextual?
I mean, that's her opinion.
Okay. All right.
I definitely usurped the whole committee
All right.
from her, but
Okay. Well, maybe one of these nights you can have your little sewing circle at my house. And I will make that ziti that you so speak of. But
I just don't understand. You know, Walter and Albert are very good friends, and I thought Albert was still in good health. What are
well,
the circumstances of his death?
I'm glad you asked because that's where I was going next. He goes back to the empanada. He's going to try to get ink. Holds it. Takes a little bite again. Kind of eating around the pumpkin filling. It's too spicy for him. And
So-
it's sticking to the crust.
As he explains this next part, Violet, while knitting, like enthusiastically knitting, clackety 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 clackety, he's going to slowly stand up, eyes wide with anticipation, almost drooling for the news, and slowly like walk towards him.
Well, Albert was dragged out of the bay.
Oh my!
Of course, dead.
Dead.
Him and his family were yachting on vacation out in Brindlewood Bay. Currently, their boat is anchored out there. They've been asked not to leave as the investigation takes place. About a quarter mile from shore. You can see it just from shore. The whole family was there. Wife Amanda, daughter Sarah, son David, and then the youngest one pulls out his little pocket notebook. David, Amanda, Emily would be the youngest one. So far, they are saying he was drunk and simply fell overboard. But nothing is ever that simple and that straightforward. So, if you wouldn't mind checking in on this for me, keeping it off the books, that would be much appreciated. It would lighten the load at the down at the station for all of us. And nearly forgot. If you want to go see the body yourself, he's being kept cold down at the fish market. Y'all know where that's at. Until it can be shipped back to Boston for the funeral.
And so Betty Rose, as she, drinking her martini that she just topped off for her and for the sheriff, she says, Sheriff Derry Pimple, I'm confused. I'm looking through my book here, my notes. I thought that Albert was already dead. I must be confusing him. There's just so many murders that happen in Brindlewood Bay. It's hard for me to keep them straight. And ladies, I'm so sorry, but this is the reason why I can never finish the books. We just have got to do so much work for the local authorities. It's like we are the
It's almost
sheriffs.
like your books are coming to true. Maybe it's you.
The most important thing. Gonna turn around real slow, wide-eyed, looking at the ladies. Girls, I smell a caper.
Cue the dramatic bum bum bum.
I didn't use any capers in the book. I was going to bring salmon and lox and capers because that's something
Abuela, you are just an absolute divine treasure. I love you.
Fleshmith.
Oh, I love you too, Mija.
Dun, dun, dun.
Fleshmith in the chat. 39 months. Can you believe that? Who would stick around for that long? But thank you so much. Look at the new faces. Welcome back, Snacks and Church. He says, thank you so much, Flesh, for stopping by. Appreciate it. We're playing a little Brindlewood Bay tonight. Well,
I think as this has been going on and all the ladies have been talking, Lakshmi's already pulled out her phone and has been spending the past 5 minutes looking for her Facebook app or whatever social media app to try and start looking up those kids because she doesn't trust those kids.
okay.
They were always sneaking around
All right.
and going into rooms that they weren't supposed to be in when I'd host events at my house or at any venue or hall. I don't trust those kids. So I've got I don't put. I have reading glasses. I don't wear them. I'm fully staring at the screen,
I love it.
trying to type these names.
You
Being
find Amanda Krause's Facebook profile.
Yeah.
You are blocked.
Oh.
You see her profile picture, and it is a family picture of all of them. Albert, Amanda as the patriarch matriarch, and then Sarah, David, and Emily all there.
Betty's
I mean,
writing fiercely in her
personally-
sketchbook.
Yeah, you know that friend face thing. It just breeds contempt. I swear it does.
No good.
No good come of it. That's right. No.
No, keep your enemies closer. This is why she was the weak one. I just put my phone away. I'm furious.
And then sheriff, looked or Betty looks at the sheriff and she was like, "Have you already questioned the kids? Are they still on the boat, or do we have to go do that too?"
Like I said, my hands are completely full with everything going on. There's only one of me, and there are 4 of you. So I have done a quick cursory talk to them all, and they have said that he was drunk, and all of their stories sort of match that framing. But again, bodies washing up on shore. You got to think there might be something going on. So please, yes, you will have to go talk to them.
All right.
Well, Sheriff Periwinkle, are they on the boat or are they the house?
Dalrymple. I know a few, end of the night, a few drinks in, it's kind of tough.
I've been cocktails. I apologize, Sheriff Periwinkle.
It's Dalrymple, like the ice cream.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, Dalrymple ice cream, isn't it?
What kind of ice cream is that?
It's Dalrymple. I think it's purple.
I don't eat ice cream. I only do cardio for 4 hours a day. Tell me about ice cream.
Cardio. I mean, I make cardigans all the time, but it doesn't have anything to do with
right.
my ice
I
cream.
can tell you are getting in your little swirl of conversation. Speaking of ice cream,
it is a swirl. Dalrymple is a swirl. That's right. Good,
Yes,
Sheriff. This is why you make the big dollars.
Yeah. A boy is gonna go fix just a little plate from the buffet and take it over to take it over to the younger of the eldest, Lakshmi, and say, "Here, well, maybe you need a little something for energy to take something to do with your hands away from your phone. Might help you, Mina. Here, I made this with con amor. Enjoy."
And then
This is the only time Lakshmi actually listens to anybody ever, because it reminds her of like family and like her mom. So then she just sits down and she's like, okay, and she eats some empanadas.
Coma.
All right. Well, I'm gonna see myself out, and I imagine in the morning you're gonna pick up on this. And hey, Violet, you gotta quit double parking that little pepper of yours down on the street there. I don't want to see it again like that. All right.
Am I double parked?
And you have been all night.
Well, I mean, last time I was on the sidewalk, you said I couldn't park there either. I'm very confused. Pepper's very small. I mean, she doesn't take up much room.
Yeah, it's those damn sidecars.
Well, the sidecars are a great improvement. It's how we get around. You know what, Sheriff? Here's what we should do. Why don't you get me one of them great big whirly lights like you have on your car?
Well, you can... I'm not going to say it. Sure.
Well, ladies, I go down to the fish market at 6 a.m. every morning to be there when the fishermen come in with the fresh catch. Obviously, they landed something
Every
very hard
morning?
this time. Oh yes, that's the fish that I make. I make fresh ceviche with the fish straight off the boats every morning, and with the shrimp.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should go to the fish market when the boats are coming in because maybe the fishermen saw something.
Margarita, you would know that Etienne Beauregard is the head fishmonger down there at the fish market. Etienne Beauregard.
Nice.
All right.
Well, ladies,
if you don't mind, I will see myself out. And he finishes his little gin, sets down his empanada, starts backing away.
Oh no! Take a plate of the plate home for your wife. And take this home and enjoy.
Oh, I can't. She would be offended if I did that.
Oh well, you say hello to the missus for me, all right? And
of course,
you be careful out there, all right? You be careful on them stairs. I know it's a little steep, especially right there around on the platform going down to the first floor. You watch that third step; it's a little rickety. That I've been telling Ricky downstairs get on that with his hammer and his screwdriver. Because all it needs is a little shim right there in the corner, and it'll level it right out.
all right.
My daddy done showed me that.
Violet, all right, Violet. I'll see you all. You will pull it back to me, okay? And as he's like staring down the stairs, he kind of like hikes up his belt and kind of gets it ready and shakes his head, and he starts down the stairs. And you hear that heavy breathing once again. Same footsteps descending and falling away from you. And then you hear the little bell as hitting the door as he exits Candlelight Booksellers.
Do you think his wife is really going to get mad about him drinking and eating empanadas and is going to be mean to him?
Oh, that man is an absolute saint. His wife's probably the sweetest little dear in the world. But ladies, like I said, I smell a caper. Let's go and hop right on Pepper downstairs and let's go. Hi-ho, mavens away. Let's go.
Betty tops off her crystal martini glass and, just is walking down the stairs.
I'll bag all my knitting gear.
Okay.
I button the button on my blazer to get moving.
I'm quickly taking all the leftovers and putting them into my family Tupperware, which is essentially old Cool Whip containers and hurricane margarines. Because
yogurt containers,
country crack butter.
Yeah,
Probably a couple of those 80s style Tupperware with the button on the top of the lid.
Sounds like my grandma.
There's a few of those, yes.
It is later in the evening. I would say, like 6 or 7-ish p.m. So I'll let you do what you will. You've got a few leads. You've got the fish market. You've got the yacht out there. There are other things in Brindlewood Bay that we can build out together. If there's a place you want to stop, you just let me know.
Well, first off, we got to set the scene. So we all hop into Pepper. We got somebody on the right, somebody on the left, somebody in the wagon. I've got my knitted scarf that's probably about 12 feet long wrapped around me and a helmet. Everybody has to have a helmet now. Safety first.
Betty would absolutely be on the wagon in the back because she's always going to have her martini glass and feels that it blocks the wind and if she's in the back like that. So that's what she does.
All right.
I'll rev the engine, that lawnmower sound. And then we have to have the Knight Rider theme play in the background.
I think Lakshmi is just like looking at her phone, trying to see if this time she can figure out the Uber or Lyft app. Like every single time she's like, I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to get in this again. This is a death trap.
Just as she finds it, I hit the gas and she goes, oh no.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so where all are you going in the Vespa, the modified Vespa, Pepper?
To the scene of the crime.
All right. So
we're going to go catch them on the boat drinking now, and maybe they're drunk and they're celebrating their dad's death, and we can catch them slipping.
I love it.
We got to get there before somebody traipses all over our evidence.
That's right. We don't want them to do that. Sherry Dare Pimple always does that, and then we got to get there early.
Well, there's old Bill down there that drinks way too much, and he's probably just going to sleep right there all over all our evidence, mess up all the footprints and the drag marks, blood stains, and whatever else god-awful bodily fluids may be washed up on that beach.
Remember when you told me to date Bill? Golly, that was lucky.
Well, he was a different
I
man back then.
Admitted
Well,
me a
I would-
scarf to give him.
Go ahead, Rita.
And as usual, Rita's trying to get over an edgewise between Violet and Betty Rose, and it's just ain't happening. Well, let's think for a moment. Just like with any dish that I make, I want to make sure I have everything in place, and I do it in the right order. So so we should wait till the morning for the fish market, and for the fishmonger. So it's evening now. So do we think the family is down there? They're probably at the house, but I definitely think let's go to the scene of the crime first. I just think we might want to keep in mind the family may be up in the house celebrating, right? So house, fish, down to where the boat is first, and then to the family house, and then
I like
morning
that.
we'll get the fish market.
Sounds like a good plan.
See,
what?
I'm used to running a 5-star Michelin kitchen, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're on this station, and you're on this station, and no, blanch those vegetables first."
What you know about the Krause family is they are from Boston. They don't have a house in Brindlewood Bay. They're there on their yacht, and it is anchored a quarter-mile off, according to the sheriff. So as you are cruising down in your Vespa down the streets of Brindlewood Bay, getting closer to the bay itself, you can see out in the distance on the ocean, you can see a couple lights glowing in the darkness that you can tell would be the yacht. You get there, there are little like smaller dinghies to rent and be able to take out there. I don't think any of you would have a boat unless you could, convince me otherwise.
Well, am I? She's loaded.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I might be able to call someone. I definitely have an address book of connections that I'd be able to call someone to let us borrow a boat.
I love it. So on the way, you finally found the icon you were looking for on your iPhone, and you found the entry to somebody that works down at the docks and has a boat themselves. They pull up right at the same time as you. Kind of this rusted out older car, and door creaks as he closes it, slams it, and he's still pulling on some of his clothes as he was kind of in his home, settled for the night. Kind of put on his overcoat. Lakshmi, good. I was hoping I wasn't going to have to wait. What do you need this time?
Right about there, I'm going to stand up off Pepper, throw off my helmet, and go, "Woo! That's exhilarating. I love a late night ride." And I'm going to smack that man right on his bottom.
The company you keep. The company you keep.
I'm like a little embarrassed, and I'm like, sorry about my friend.
Completely oblivious.
Yeah. We just need to borrow your boat. It's just some
borrow.
Just borrow.
I will.
You understand.
I will pilot the boat.
We can handle it. Come on.
All right. I think we're going to do our first roll, folks. What do you think?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I love it. Give me a presence roll. So you're going to roll 2d6 and add your presence modifier. Unless you've added something to it, it will be 0. And we are looking for... This is a night move, by the way. So you're looking for a 7 plus.
Night moves.
9.
I just need to see Bob Seger song.
Are you using the dice in Roll20?
I am.
Okay, so on the left-hand side, second from the bottom, there's a little... Yeah, there's 2d6.
The 2d6?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh. That is...
Is that good?
Okay, well,
No, that's a 5.
that's a 6.
Do you
Plus
have
my
you have a
modifier.
+1? Okay, that's still
I have a
a
+1.
fail. Well,
Okay, where are we going?
are you gonna do it?
I'm going to
I can
do
narrate.
it.
I can narrate the fail, and then you can decide whether you want to put on the crown.
Okay, all
How's
right,
that
narrate the fail, and we'll see
All
if
right.
it's worth the risk.
I'm piloting the boat. I will give you 1 hour. What are we just zooming around the bay? 1 hour, and then we're right back here. I got you know, I got kids to put to bed, and I got a wife at home. So he's giving you 1 hour on the boat.
I mean, I think an hour on the boat feels like long enough, but I don't want him meddling in our business. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put on a crown.
I love it. So you're gonna put the crown of the queen on your head. You get to choose which one you want to pick. So this is essentially, and I'll kind of, you read through which one you want. I'll narrate to the audience here. This is essentially like a redo, and you only get so many of these before bad ones start to kick in. It's essentially, you get to see the outcome of a failed roll. They can choose to put on a crown, and they have to narrate some sort of scene, and then we go back in time, and they get to up their roll by 1. So since it's a fail, it would be moved to a small success, which is 7 to, it would be in the 7 to 9 range. You do it or hold steady, but there's a complication or cost. So go ahead and tell me which crown you are putting on and narrate that for me.
Yeah, so I'm going to put on a flashback showing how you were an imperfect mother.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it comes with the territory. She's an awful person. So I think in this moment, I can find myself being really mean to my friend. And there's a moment where I'm starting to say something very rude right away about how he needs to get his priorities straight. And I think about when I see that my daughter doesn't have straight A's. And that is unacceptable, because the only thing that is acceptable in this house is better than perfect. And so then she's not even trying to talk to me about that, right? She's telling me about this great experience that she has where she's going to go to this theater camp over the summer, and she got into this exclusive program. And I just think that that's unacceptable, because I'm still set on the fact that she got a B in calculus or something like that. And so I'm furious with her, and I can just see like the light drain from her eyes, and I've kind of ruined her summer, because now instead of letting her go to this theater camp, I'm making her enroll at the local community college so that she can complete this calculus class again and like do better in school and get college credit. And I think about that moment, and I have a lot of regret, and I feel really bad about it. And I bite my tongue with my friend, and I don't say what I'm thinking about.
Okay.
Which is judgment.
All right. Yeah. Here's the complication.
Okay.
You literally bite your tongue. And now your mouth is kind of filling with that iron taste of blood. Like, it is that, like, you were holding back that comment so much that you actually had to bite down on your tongue. You have a condition now. Bite your tongue. We'll call it bite your tongue. And you will have disadvantage on rolls until this condition is taken care of.
Okay.
Which means you'll roll 3d6 and you'll take the 2 lowest.
The 2 lower ones.
Yeah,
okay.
or you'll drop the highest, so the 2 lowest. Yeah. Conditions aren't always or ever present. They can go away, but for the time being, you're biting down on your tongue, and you get to move up into the success range. So we're gonna backtrack a little bit. All right. 1 hour, you promise. You have the boat.
Promise.
Okay.
Absolutely.
He kind of digs into his pocket, throws you the keys to the boat. Boats have keys? Yeah. Sure. I know nothing of boats. 1 hour, I'll be back here, and I'll meet you, and you'll hand those keys right back to me.
Absolutely. I owe you. Absolutely.
So
as we're getting into the boat, Rita turns to Lakshmi and says, "Lakshmi, I have some some aloe vera plant in my bag here. I always keep with me. If you take some of this and put it on your tongue and hold it for a little bit, that will help with that pain, and it might go away very soon. This is very good, not just for healing on the skin, but inside, and drinking aloe vera juice is wonderful for you as well. I'm sure I'm sure Violet probably has a long story about how she uses it in some of her drinks as well. But no, you take this aloe vera leaf and just place it there for a bit.
I think then go, and then, and I also, I take the aloe vera, but then I also take some of that gin too because this I have pain physically and emotionally right now. So.
Yeah. Jen's got this juniper, and it's just like aloe vera, right? It's just a leaf. It'll help.
It's an astringent. I'd like to wait and be the last person to walk by him on the way towards the boat. And as I do, I just want to nudge him a little bit and say, she's single.
He holds up his
wink
hand
at him.
He's like,
I hear this and I'm like, and I'm like still trying to look at my phone as if I'm busy. I'm like, absolutely not.
Thank you for the boat.
Here's what we're gonna do. I think, Margarita, you engaged in a cozy move by offering the aloe vera to Lakshmi. You have engaged in that cozy move, an intimate moment with another maven, and you can clear an appropriate condition. So with that taking place, I think your bite your tongue has gone away, removing that. So there we go. That was a short-lived condition, folks. Look at that.
We love to see it.
Wonderful. It takes care of my tummy aches all the time. So yeah. And my sunburn. So
he gets into his car, and car kind of rattles down the street and up back into the town of Brindlewood Bay. You all now have access to this boat. Whew. Are you heading straight down out to the yacht?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably empty right now. We should probably just go straight there.
Yeah, not a lot of boats out in the harbor right now in the bay. You kind of have straight shot to it without much infringing on your path. Couple minute bouncing off the waves. You make it to the yacht. There is a place to kind of dock in towards the back of it. And as you step aboard this yacht, what do you see that indicates these people have more money than they know what to do with? So this is it's called Paint the Scene. This is where the players get to help paint the scene and kind of give us some ownness to this boat. What do you see here that lets you know that they have way too much money? This Krause family.
Yeah, and so when Betty gets off the boat, she has a little martini glass there that she fills back
full
up,
of seawater.
and full of seawater there. What's good? It's kind of like vermouth. And so as she walks around the boat, she just notices that everything is like gold, and she's like, oh, this is going to be gold plated. And so she goes over to the railings on the yacht and the knobs on the knot into the anchor, and she this is like solid gold, right? And then she goes over to, because she's been around, right? And so she looks at the anchor with this rope and the sails, and it's like this really fine silk that's really pricey things that's way beyond what Violet could afford from the craft store for knitting purposes. So she just knows that this is,
All right, so you see, what is typically maybe like a brass or gold wrapped, fake faux gold wrapped handles. This is a solid kind of chunk of metal. And you flick it a little bit, clean your martini glass off it, and it's got that dense ring to it. And all the curtains surrounding the back deck of this yacht are all this nice fancy silk that has not a crease in it. Just very kind of, you don't know the thread count on these curtains. This is like astronomical.
Whatever those Egyptians told us.
Anyone else see anything that might indicate too much money?
I'm assuming that all the amenities on the back of this yacht are compartmentalized using hand motions to trigger them to pop out of the walls and the floors.
All right. Yeah, they're not a fingerprint on anything because it's all like motion censored. Okay.
It is. But Violet, being very curious and very forward, would like to step on, immediately pull out a needle and her mag light and start picking at things, looking for clues.
Okay. Are you doing a certain role here?
I'll do the meddling move.
The meddling move. Okay, I like it. So you're going to give me a meddling move roll. Let's see. What ability would that be with? Let's take a look. Vitality, composure, reason, presence. I think reason.
All right.
I'm trying to remember the intricacies of the skills there. I think it's going to be reason.
All right. So just 2d6 plus mine.
Plus your reason mod, which you get a 1. So unless you've added something else to it.
No, I think reason's just the standard one. Okay. So 6.
Ooh, yeah.
Rolling hot.
Rolling not so hot. That's going to be a fail. On the backside of this yacht, nothing is like, ooh, there's a blood stain. Nothing is popping out to you. It's very well kept. And unless anybody else wants to add anything to the paint the scene.
Yes. Rita's going to go down into the galley to look around in there, and she can very quickly tell how affluent they are because they have all of the most very innovative technology. So there's a blast chiller in there. Okay. All of the everything nice stainless steel, and the granite special stone for the cutting boards, and just everything's just pristine and just for the most part seems pristine. Okay. But she doesn't notice the knives.
All right. So before you get down there, all of that's there. But before you get down there, there's a gray-haired kind of, he's in a nice kind of suit. He's got some tails coming out the back. Not a tail, but like the suit tails. What are they called? I don't know anything. Standing there, very very tall and...
Like a butler.
Yeah, it's like a butler. There we go. Very, he's a presence. Excuse me.
Well, that would indicate they would have money.
Yes, excuse me. What might your business be here on the back of this yacht at this hour?
Oh, well, the sheriff asked us to come and take a look around after we...
Darley Pimple sent you.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any proof of this, or you wouldn't have badges?
Badges? We don't need no stinking badges. Oh, sorry.
I think I interrupt and I'm like, oh, no, sorry. We're friends of Amanda. And
how might you know Amanda?
And we just wanted to...
Excuse me, Miss Krause. How might you know Miss Krause?
We go way back. We've spent many years working charity events together. We're very close.
Friends on Facebook.
Yeah, and we are friends on Facebook. She's my best friend on Facebook. And so I just came to pick up a couple things for her. I know her and her children are really shaken right now.
Why don't we bring Miss Krause into this conversation, and she will set this straight.
Fuck.
But before he can do that, I speak up and say, oh no, also I was my husband was played golf with Mr. Krause. Here, let me show you a photo. Oh wait, what did I do with that?
Hold the photo. Let me get to Miss Krause. Don't move. And he kind of does a little about face, marches down. There's like a main thoroughfare in this yacht. There's some cabins on each side. There's kind of a little wet bar back there where you guys are in your near vicinity. There is the down the stairs that go to the galley or the kitchen, and then there's a big upper deck that you can't really see from where you're at. And he kind of goes down that main thoroughfare into one of the cabins. And unless you want to do something, he's going to quickly come back out. So if you'd like to do something very quick.
Yeah,
Can
and
can we
so
walk
Betty
over
was just gonna quickly walk around the exterior of the boat, like whatever the landing that we kind of come in to
Okay.
see if there's been any with the thing so pristine and everything so clean and everything in its proper place, is anything like out of place that looks like it was hurriedly put back to
Okay.
try to be?
Give
Yeah.
me a meddling move roll, and this again will be a reason roll.
All right, so I got me a +1, and so a 10 with my
A
modifier.
10?
Ooh.
No, you didn't.
Hey,
All right. Real quick, I'm looking at the abilities. So vitality is for strength, dexterity, endurance, athleticism. That's pretty self-explanatory. Composure is staying calm. Reason is studying books, researching a problem, examining a crime scene. Okay, so I am picking the correct one. So you rolled a 10, did you?
as a 9 with the 1 modifier. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a hit. All right, this is where I get to ad-lib. And you're on the outside railing, sort of like a catwalk type of the
Yeah.
yacht.
Outside the cabins or whatever it is would be. Yeah.
You see. There's so many to choose from. So you're getting your first clue. So this will be added to our roll when we do the theorizing. You see a kind of a piece of paper wedged into one of like the portholes, kind of flapping a little bit in the wind.
Yeah, and so Betty goes over and looks at the piece of paper, and she gingerly kind of pulls it out and unfolds it to see if there's what it says.
You see,
And then she looks around, at her fellow mavens, like with big wide eyes, like
it has been ripped, this piece of paper, and you are getting like the center section of a diary entry, from what you can tell. And it essentially is talking about how this person just can't take it anymore. There are no names.
I think that we have a suicide note. You think this is a suicide note? Hey, Lakshmi, you know the husband pretty well. Does this look like his writing? That you seen when he was like,
Do I recognize the writing? I take a look at it. I spend some time looking at it, and I'm like, does it look like... The thing is, he had chicken scratch, but I could see the kids are idiots. They probably did too, This isn't a really bright family we're talking about, so...
But
you cannot tell the handwriting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to... This is where, not having run this system before, I don't know how much I want to throw in there, because it might... Yeah.
well, did he write
non-distinct.
did he write the checks for any of the events that you worked with Amanda? Was Amanda writing the
Yeah,
checks, or was he writing the checks?
He wrote the checks. He wrote the checks. They had a really weird arrangement where he would keep his money separate and would give her an allowance. Like, it was very that, I don't know. I don't trust it.
As
But
you
yeah, he wrote
as you were finishing
Yeah.
that up, you see the butler and Miss Krause on his heels coming down that main thoroughfare. You see Amanda Krause, this thin, graceful, well-dressed woman, as she's moving down, commanding the runway, if you will, with the butler leading the way. Miss Krause, these four said they have business with you. I thought it quite odd. Came directly for you. But, Madame, and he speaking directly to Miss Krause, the dinner table is ready for this evening in the forecastle, awaiting your inspection. That's where I will be. Please let me know if you need anything. And he kind of backs away, going down into that galley.
as they're walking away, I have now like brushed off, like my suit is now prim and proper again, and I'm I'm trying to stand taller than her. Um, and just trying to have a formidable presence. And I'm kind of like I've now pushed like my friends' backs up too, so everybody's standing up straight. So
Yeah.
we seem like this like gang that she's coming up
She
against.
has aged
I
very
pulled out
well.
my feather.
It's amazing what money can do. She has aged
Yeah.
very well and is very presentable. Well, what is this that brought you all here? And she kind of looks at all of you and gets to you, Lakshmi. Oh, Lakshmi. I never would have thought I would have seen you out here on my yacht. What is
Darling,
this?
it's so good to see you. I just, I had to check in. I heard the news. Word gets around pretty fast. And how are you doing? This must be so hard for you. Like trying to hold back a smile.
Well, I am, of course, distraught. My Albert, as you know, has fallen, and
Can't
he
get up.
won't be coming back, but it's just like him to go and get himself killed when I'm on the precipice of the charity fundraiser of a lifetime. Lakshmi, you know this world. You know the business that I am in, and how dare he go and do this when I am this close?
And so
Are
they
you
better, comes up to when you start saying about the chair. It's like we're here to help in any way that we can help you. It's like,
Who are you?
oh, girl, don't even talk like you don't know who I am. I've been with you forever. How much money has Eugene and I given your
Eugene.
charities?
Name the charity. I have many.
That one of those charities that help those kids that needs that stuff, and there was one that give money to bluebirds and
the least
in
successful of my
Asia.
charities.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sure. Thank you. Your money is going into good hands and causes. Thank you. And she during that conversation of her talking, answering Lakshmi, she kind of like lost some of that presence, and she finds herself straightening herself back up. Like she's got to build herself back up.
So,
And you, who else? There's four of you.
so Violet being Violet, and being a
Every move has to start with that. Violet being.
well, being a slightly belligerent Southern lady is actually going to get a little too close to this woman, like right up kind of in her space while knitting, and kind of scowl at her and look real hard.
Can I help you?
You pretty upset about your husband passing, aren't you?
Oh,
Clack, 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 clack.
of course. But as self-involved as he can be, he is taking.
As self-involved as he was, dear. Was.
Past tense, yes. He is taking attention away from this the fourth annual.
And that's the important thing, is that he's taking the attention away.
Yes, from
Clack,
the
clack,
fourth
clack, clack,
annual
clack.
Warriors Ball. It is
The
going
Warriors Ball.
to. Yes, it is going to be.
And what is this for? Are you supporting Warriors? Is that what you're doing?
Well,
Clack, clack, clack.
veterans.
Curry.
Veterans.
Veterans.
Yes,
Is it veterans?
those that are suffering from testicular cancer.
Suffering from their balls getting sore. Yeah.
Warriors
mhm.
Ball.
They
you
got
get it.
ball sore.
Warriors
Yes.
Ball. That's
Yes.
very clever.
This was
Did your
going-
husband's balls work okay? Clack, 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 clack.
She just taken aback. She does take a step back from you at that point.
I'm staying right on her. Every step she takes, I kind of step in,
She's kind of like
kind of keeping that distance.
well,
So Violet, I should explain. Violet's trying to get her to slip. Violet, she can be a little bit of a bully.
all right. Do you want to give me a? Let's see. This would be Are you trying to get a clue out of this, or
I'm trying to get her to slip. If we can call it a clue, if you want.
You can give me a night move roll with presence.
Okay. Is it just 2d6 again?
2d6 plus your presence modifier. Which...
All right. Which I believe is just 0, so. All right, here we go.
Ooh,
6.
As she is kind of like backing up from you, you see her sort of plant her feet, does this 1-2 step, and kind of puffs up bigger. Yes, I am distraught, and the attention is being taken away. She's getting a little flustered, but no longer like kind of backing out of the conversation, really like pushing herself up. Now
I'm putting on. I'm going to put on a crown.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Oh.
Oh, this is a thing we can do here. Putting on a crown. All right. Go ahead and what crown are you putting on?
Let's see. I guess let's do it. I'm just gonna look at her and say, you know what? This reminds me of something that happened to Amanda Delacourt.
You're not doing the Golden Crown mystery move. You're putting
No.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna try and push it. Like she's bowing up,
Okay.
so I want to put on a crown to further intimidate her, basically, into trying to get her to slip up.
Okay. Which one are you picking, and do you want to kind of narrate through that scene a little bit?
Here, help me out here.
So on the top right of your character sheet, there's the Crown of the Queen. And
there we go.
Please
like
tell us how Violet
7.
satisfies her physical desires. Please.
So the very bottom one is a scene in the present day showing how you satisfy your physical desires, if you want to go there.
Because Betty is ready to
you choose any of
help.
those. Give me a quick narration, and then we'll back up the scene, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, I've got one. I'm gonna go with a scene in the present day showing a private side very few of you get to see.
Ooh, okay.
So here's the scene. Violet, happy-go-lucky, goofy, loves to knit, silly, cat lady, widow Violet is at the grocery store. And it's one of those old kind of rundown grocery stores because she's frugal. She's not poor, but she likes to pinch her pennies. And she's at the grocery store, and there's this young cashier there, and she's got a question. There's these 2 different brands of milk. They're kind of both close to expiration date. They're both locally farmed, and she wants to know which one has the better pasteurization process. It's very important because her cats only like specific types of milk. And she's trying to get this cashier's attention. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Sir, excuse me. And the guy is too busy flirting with this younger woman that reminds Violet of this girl she went to high school with all those years ago, who almost stole Jim from her because they were high school sweethearts, you know. And she's watching, trying to get this guy's attention. He's ignoring her. Yeah, ma'am, whatever. I'll get to you in a minute. Anyway, so, blah, blah, blah. So Violet just loses it right there in the middle of the grocery store and says, ahem. And the moment he looks up, she takes both those jugs of milk and just clops this dude on either side of the head. Milk splashes and goes flying everywhere. It douses the girl, it douses him. The cash register starts smoking and sparking. Little bits of flame lick up. He doubles back, slips on the milk, falls down, hits his head. Managers and staff come running. The woman's screaming. And basically, they start getting on the phone. Violet takes her hood, her scarf, and just wraps it around her face with these 2 broken milk jugs and just bolts out of the store, hops on Pepper, and hauls ass.
They tried to stop you for a second, but let you go.
Woohoo!
With that, she backing away, you get a glimpse of something she has clutched in her hands. And you're getting another clue, folks.
Ooh.
You see several thin strips of paper. They look like receipts. You can't really tell. But one of them you do catch just a purchase price of $10,000. You can't see what it's for, but you see like several like kind of butts of these receipts kind of in her hand. And the top one, you do see that price tag down at the bottom, $10,000. All right. You are being rather pushy, but Andrew said you were here on official business. What might it be? It's not just a rekindling our relationship, is it, Lakshmi?
As I turn around, I'm going to kind of give her back her space. As I turn around, I'm going to wink at Lakshmi and kind of nod towards the receipts hanging out of her hand. And then kind of move around into the group again.
Okay. So what can I help you with? If you're here on official business, please, let me help.
Yeah, I think I see a little bit of the receipt, and I nod at my friends and move forward, and I just say, look, you know, we're here to help however we can. I know this is a rough time. Where are the kids?
Yes.
And I just, you know, did he fall or do you think he was killed? I just couldn't quite. You know, you said he fell, but then you said he got himself killed. I want to make sure we're on the same page. I want to help you however I can, you know?
He definitely probably had too much to drink and fell off the side. That's what we have got so far. And if you're looking for Sarah, she's up towards the front of the boat, very shaken from all of this. David is probably down in the galley, with Emily, of course, being in her room. If we could ever get her out of her room, that would be a miracle.
Mrs. Krause, would you mind if we went down and talked? I went down and talked to David. Well, I actually like to see your galley. I hear it's very.
If you're here on official business, she's like going through the checklist of things. Like, you're here on official business. Yes, you can have a, dare I say, a run of the boat. I will let Andrew know.
Oh, thank you, dear. I'm going to walk off and head towards it. I'm going to head towards Emily's room, just brush right past her.
Yeah, and Betty just immediately follows Violet.
She kind of nods to you as you bolt through, as you've been told you have free reign of the boat, looks at you, Lakshmi, and kind of like not so sharp daggers going your way, and then moves over to the wet bar back there and starts mixing herself a drink. And you see standing in that main thoroughfare is Andrew, very tall and commanding that hallway, standing at the end. You, Violet, and Betty, you do have full access to those cabins that are on the left and right, but he is at the other end. Are we splitting the party?
Sounds that way.
Yeah,
Margarita wants to go downstairs.
We're heading towards Emily's room.
Okay.
I'll follow Margarita.
Okay.
I don't want to.
All right, let's go with Violet and Betty as you are going down this main walkway in the boat. There is a door, a cabin door that is it's got the pocket doors that is slightly open. You see a somewhat awkward looking late teenager. Kind of sitting on the bed, kind of one leg up on, she's got her knees kind of up with one leg up, folded over it, phone in her hand, just kind of like plucking away at the keys.
Tap on the door with my needle. Tap, tap, tap.
Busy.
Hey, dear. I'm
busy.
sorry. I don't mean. Yes, I know, but see, this is kind of important.
I am busy. Talk to my mom.
I will kind of let out a big sigh, look back at Rose, and just shove the door open. I'm sorry. That moved a lot faster than I expected, and I'll just step right in.
She lets the phone fall out of her hand onto her chest and kind of like darts her eyes over to the doorway.
Hi, dear.
What do you need?
Well,
I'm busy.
hi, I'm Violet. This is my good friend Rose.
Violet, Rose,
Well,
wait.
hello.
I don't know
hello.
any of you.
Yeah, you don't need to, sweetheart. Just look. You're very cute, but your mouth, it just keeps moving, and I'm trying to tell you something.
Are you on that ticker talkers looking at those dances?
Oh.
We just want to ask you some questions.
You are one of those
your mama sent us.
Instagrammers, aren't you?
Well, I'm on,
Talk.
as I look at my MySpace account, it's like, how dare you, Emily, say that to me?
But
I'm not
you know,
on TikTok. No.
I did play that was it Minecraft where you build homes in Maine. I did play that for a while. Look, dear, we're not here to
Please,
talk
what?
to you about.
What?
Look, I came to talk to you about your father.
And you can hear her phone kind of. She's got a notification. Yeah, violent. Put a pin in that, okay? 1 second. And she picks up her phone. I have to reply to this DM. And so she starts just clicking away.
I'm gonna kind of grab the top of the phone and pull it down, if I can. And as I'm doing
give me
it,
a roll for that. Let's do a
I
one
want
of
to
those
look at
vitality
the phone
rolls.
as I do vitality.
Yeah.
2D. Let's see if I can actually roll this time. All right, here we go. 5.
This is not looking good. We are rolling poorly.
Gotta roll real dice.
Which is a great segue. If you're watching there at home and you have channel points, you can throw out some re-rolls there. I'll say you can donate the cheapest one, a D4, and we'll give them advantage. With
Help us.
that
D4
help
go
us,
a long
please.
way.
With the 5, she's got an iron grip on this thing and just like pulls it down and then looks at you. I think we're done, and is texting, and you can see it's a text thread with somebody.
Do you know my husband once killed 14 men with a knife? He said it was the bloodiest
then that
thing.
weird silence about the murdering of the men, which totally is going to compel a teenage girl to do anything. What Betty looks around to see if there's any kind of notebook, scrapbook, or anything like that would be the paper that the suicide note or whatever note is that we.
Give me a reason roll, or this is going to be you're going to do the meddling move with using
Meddling move.
The rest, okay. We're using real dice if that's okay. Rolled another 9 and then a 1, so it's a 10.
Oh, on a hit you find.
As I drink my own self-made cocktail, which is wine in a box.
Nice. I love it. Let's see what you see on. There's a little like bedside table, and it's got a little edge to it, so that when the waves get rocking, nothing can kind of fall off the table. And you see a diamond earring, no mate. So just a single diamond earring.
And then I look at Emily and I look at the earring and I said, "That is such a beautiful earring. You know, I got one of those just like that when I went to London. Where did you get that earring? That is such a delightful piece of jewelry. Did your boyfriend get you that you met on the Tinders?"
Boyfriend. I'm not on Tinder. And no, a boyfriend did not get it for me. That was from my father.
He only gave you one earring? Do you have one ear?
I seem to have lost the pair.
That's so sad. These look so expensive.
They were. Now, what do you need from me? And she's kind of like getting frustrated because you are taking away from her conversation here.
Well, sweetheart, we're here to make sure you're okay. Is the thing you're not grasping.
I am fine. I am in my conversations. But
Who are you talking to?
who?
Is it family? A family's very important at a time like this.
It is a friend.
Who's your friend?
What's it to you? I don't even know who you are.
I told you I'm Violet.
Yeah. And
Violet Sinclair. It's nice to meet you, Emily.
That's great.
I hope we can be tremendous friends.
No, we will not.
Why not?
Violet, do you think she'll want a cocktail? Do you think she's old enough to drink?
I'm 17 years old. I don't want a cocktail.
Well, you know, when I was in France with Jim, I mean, the drinking age is much different there, and those European children turn out just fine. Emily, would you like a little tip of something?
No, I would like to be left alone.
Rose, get this girl a little spot of gin. That'll calm her nerves right down.
It just tastes so good during a time like this. You know, it'll just calm your nerves. Well, aren't you sad that your dad may have committed suicide? And she looks at her like with a, you know, like
he fell off.
Did you push him?
Did you push him?
Well, your mom seems to think that he killed himself.
Yeah.
If a drunken man accidentally slips off the boat, he killed him. It was an accident.
Was he drunk?
Of course, he was.
Are you sure he was drunk?
Knowing my dad, yes.
Well, I mean, if he was always drunk, then he should have been quite familiar with that state of mind and probably had his footing just fine.
Yeah, wouldn't he be really familiar with this boat in these weather conditions?
Waves
it's not like it's storming
all the time.
Well, Emily, let me just pose a question to you, and then we'll get out your hair, okay? What if your old man didn't kill himself? What if it wasn't an accident? Wouldn't you like to know?
Well, of course.
Well, there's some reason to believe that
Sarah won't leave us alone until we.
Who's Sarah?
I thought you knew.
Oh, of course we know that's the oldest.
My sister.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, darling. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
She's been in our family talks. I've been telling us we have to figure out what happened and how and won't.
So you've had some family talks about this already, then?
Well, of course.
Well, I mean, it hasn't been that much time, dear. It's okay. You need to grieve, right,
yeah.
Rose?
This is how she holds up her phone and kind of shakes it at you. This is how I grieve.
This is how I grieve. We self-medicate. This is the same thing as a phone.
Well, Emily, dear, you said your sister is apparently more on the ball than about the potentiality of your father's demise.
Yes. Go talk to her. Go talk to her.
Okay.
Talk to her.
We'll come back and talk to you in just a little bit, dear. Okay.
And we'll keep an eye out for that earring because it does look important and special.
Please.
Oh yeah. And if you're talking to boys, make sure you put out there right up front what your expectations are. Okay.
Of course.
Don't play no game.
Here's what I learned when I was a little girl. Just.
She rolls over and faces the wall. Just go. And with that, we're going to cut down to the galley where we have Margarita and we have Lakshmi downstairs walking down into the kitchen area. It's got a nice dining in the next room deeper into this galley area is that dining room that Andrew the butler was talking about being so set up and ready for inspection. But you do see David kind of leaning forward on the bar. He's got a little drink there. He's not really engaging in anything, but he is just sitting there. He is a sort of a little more out there on the fashion sense than you've seen. You've seen like elegant sort of dresses in Amanda. You've seen the butler be very tightened up, but he's got this more avant-garde kind of fashion sense, a little more flair to it. And he's got some attitude, you can tell just in his posture.
So as we walk in, Margarita says, "Why, hello, Mr. David.
Yes, what?
Yes. Why, you look very, very nice. Well, did you get that? Is that from the Milan or the Paris collection?"
It's of my own make.
Oh, really interesting. Well, when I was traveling around during my culinary career, I had the pleasure of being taken as a guest to these wonderful, wonderful fashion
Yeah.
shows in New York and Paris and Italy.
Yeah. Well,
But
next time you're
good
in
to see
Boston,
you,
come see.
boss.
Yes.
Well, I haven't seen you since you were very, very young.
Who
Do
are
you
you?
remember me?
No, who are you? And you?
Oh well, I am Margarita Rosita Chapa. I think you used to call me Tia,
Mm,
because my husband knew your father.
I have no recollection of any of this.
Oh,
I'm
well,
sorry. But if you are in Boston, come down to my art gallery. I have many of these pieces on display.
well, thank you for the invitation. Well, we, I
Anyway,
hope we're not away.
the dining room's that way, and he kind of points through the
Okay.
kitchen.
Anything that you wanted to anything out of sorts with your father? I hadn't seen him in quite. Last time I saw
He's
him was
dead.
at my dear Walter's funeral.
Well, he is dead. So
Yes.
there's that.
We've been told.
How are you doing with that?
How would you think I'd be doing when a man such as him, lacking such vision, is no longer here?
Call you the visionary.
He kind of scoffs at that a little bit. Yes. My father, no, absolutely not. Zero.
I realize that,
zero artistic expression.
I look around to see if there's anything in the area that he's at, like if he's put anything down, or has been reading something, or just how he's been keeping himself busy aside from drinking.
Yes, go ahead and give me a roll. And you know that in this part of the boat, ship, yacht, that porthole that you found the diary entry is right there. But go ahead and give me a roll using reason.
Reason.
So 2d6 plus at least one. Ooh,
So that's gonna be an 8.
8. That is a success, but barely.
Yay.
We like that one. So that is 7 to 9. There's a complication, either with the clue itself or a complication you encounter while searching. So how are you sort of scanning this room? Is it a physical kind of scan, or are you just kind of in the back, just kind of eyeballing?
I think as I'm talking to him, I'm kind of walking forward and then looking for a place to lean, like up against a wall or something. But I've been just kind of looking around the room while I'm having the conversation.
Okay.
Like your dad, like that's why I'm saying your dad thought you were a visionary, even though like that clearly would not be the case. Just to have something to fill the room while I'm looking around.
Yeah, there's sort of like a buffet staging table towards the back. There's a center island, and then there's like the kitchen prep area. And you could easily post up onto that buffet staging table if you'd like, towards the back of the room, kind of get comfortable. And as you're looking around, you see by that porthole that the diary entry was found in, you see the faintest stippling of some blood. And this is another clue, folks. We have 4 clues so far.
And so he's standing like directly below that porthole.
Back to it, there is a walkway there, but he's like leaning on the island.
Okay. So I think I walk towards him, and I'm going to put a hand on his shoulder, and I'm just going to say, look, I know your mom must be going through a lot.
Of course.
And, we're here to help in any way that we can.
Sure.
You all shouldn't be going through this alone. And I try and be really genuine about that.
He stays kind of closed off and a little snippy, even with your kind of warmth and empathy kind of getting closer to him. Still stays very kind of like, that would be great. Sarah could use a little bit of comfort, You know, I don't think my mom really gives two shits. She's more worried about testicular cancer than anything else. But thank you. And he kind of goes back to, he's just kind of like staring a hole into the bar. He's not really engaging in anything other than just kind of being in the moment there.
I nudge Margarita and I'm like, give him an empanada.
I think wonderful idea. I have all those left over. And I pull one out and said, David, you said you don't remember, but when you were a little boy, you loved the empanadas that we brought. Here, have one of these.
Is that pumpkin?
No, this is carnal. This is cajeta.
Yeah, okay. What? Why is it all wet as he's taking? It got wet on the way over a little bit, but.
And that's not a snap the lid down all the way. I apologize.
He breaks it open, and that kind of flaky crust kind of crumbles. A few crumbles fall down and smells it. Well, yes. Now that you, what do they say about, like, smells are quickest way to one's memory, jogging one's memory. And Margarita, yes, I do remember you now. I mean, you could tell he's kind of like half lying, just, you know, he kind of, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but he's really just kind of, thank you.
Well, and it's because Margarita, most of his life had been invisible because she was hired help.
Yeah.
In that time frame with the child.
Yeah. Been a decade plus, so it's been a while. Anyway, the dining room is that way, and I assume that's where everybody's heading.
I think the good cop is not working, and I see that, and so I immediately like button up my suit a little tighter. It's probably already hella tight, but I'm just like pulling it tighter, and I put I drop my hand down very sharply on the desk. And I'm like, okay, cut the shit. And then I'm like, you need to work with us. What's going on? We need to figure out how your dad died. Your mom's giving us two stories. He fell off and he got himself killed. Which is it? What's going on? And don't think I'm fucking around. And I'm like,
all right. I think
I want to intimidate him.
Yeah. We need a presence roll with this.
Yes.
Awesome. I kind of want to give you advantage with the authority that you're bringing to this narrative here. So I'm going to give you advantage. So you're going to roll 3d6. Add your presence. Okay. We'll take the two highest. I think that's what this calls for.
So that's going to be 9.
So 5 plus 3 plus 1 is 9. That's a success. Barely,
okay.
Right?
Good job.
Great.
Thank you.
So this is a night move again. So as you are getting authoritative with him, a little more aggressive, playing that bad cop, he, kind of lifts himself up. I know nothing other than my dad was lacking any sort of vision and really just partook in the drink. The fool fell off the boat. That is what we as a family have decided with what we know. Now, outside of that, I don't know how I can help you.
You decided this is a family. Where were you? Did you see him fall off the boat?
No, I did not.
Right, but where were you?
Probably in my cabin. I mean, the boat is... I can go anywhere in the boat I want. I'm not held to one part or the other.
But
I look at Margarita.
But you say your father was drinking. Were you not drinking with him? You're drinking now.
His death could have been significant. Why would I drink with somebody that has no presence, has no style, has no vision? This reminds me of a great performance by my favorite artist. So committed to his work that he threw himself from the top of a 5-story building in the ultimate artistic expression. If you ask me, if only my father would have had any sort of drive as that man.
Is this a clue?
No, this is him just being a douchebag. So you want to know how he died? He probably took his own life. I would if I had that little oomph.
Margarita just kind of does the sign of the cross and says, vaya con Dios. and kind of grasps her rosary because she's thinking now that she's like seeing the devil because he is just so soulless and has no passion or empathy for the death of his father. And she starts to slowly back away and shrink, but towards the kitchen to move on.
Yeah. So you're kind of on the other side of that island. Okay.
Yep. And remove herself from his presence because, she's not sure.
Yeah, and I would say, if you think back to when he was a child, you've seen him maybe react this sort of way to one of his siblings, maybe, kind of go over the top in a brief moment of anger.
Oh, it's so sad that life has only made him more bitter and darker. I had hopes that he'd grow out of that when I would see how he treated his siblings, but no. And she just kind of fades off, and she's like,
He's as you two are like kind of moving, he's going to push off the bar and turn around and look directly out that porthole that was right behind him. Same one that you found the diary. And then there's that little blood spot. And he's just kind of standing cross-armed, just staring at it.
I think as I leave, I say, your clothes are hideous and you have no taste. And I shut the door behind me.
Got him. I love it. As you close the door, you hear the shattering of glass. He took his tumbler and threw it across the room.
So angry.
And are you going back up? Because if you are, that's a good time where we can merge the party again if you'd like. Or if you want to go through into the dining room, you can definitely do that as well.
Now, I think it'd be good if we're like kind of meet in, as we try to think about we just talked to this wonderful girl.
I know Violet's got one thing on her mind.
What is that, Violet?
She's going straight to the wet bar.
Okay.
And she's going to start popping decanters and sniffing.
Okay.
Margarita wants to she wants to proceed at some point to the kitchen, perhaps to see. She knows that she has used her kamal as a weapon in the past to defend herself. So she wants to see if, typically in this type of environment, when you have like highly skilled chefs, you're going to walk in and everything should be in its place and pristine. And so she wants to see if anything's out of sort after seeing this blood, because maybe there's a pan that's not where it should be. Okay. That could have been used as a weapon, or a marble rolling pin, because, those back quite a while.
So are you doing this while you're down in that kitchen area, like before you leave?
Yes.
Okay.
I think before we leave, yes.
Okay, give me a, still learning the terminology here, a meddling move.
Okay.
A meddling move roll using reason. Using reason. So 2d6 plus at least 1, depending on where you put your point.
Okay. Let's see.
It's going to be a 10 at least.
Did that work?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You rolled a 9, but you get at least +1, so that's a 10. Put you in that bracket.
Okay. All right.
A success. And you are
Nice.
looking for a clue. Let's see.
Yes.
Sorry, trying to find a good one here.
Hmm.
You see in the garbage can right next to the prep area.
Mm-hmm.
You see some porcelain that has been shattered, and is on top of the garbage. There's a few little wrappers of things on top of it, but if you just move that one aside, you see like a pile of shattered porcelain that has been scooped up and thrown in the garbage.
I'm going to look around and pull out one of my empty containers, since I've been feeding empanadas out of it, and take the porcelain pieces and put them into that, because porcelain pieces can be reused as tile for tile work.
Okay. Yeah. In this, at first look, like everything else on this ship is very expensive looking. You can tell there was some thought, care, and craftsmanship put into this vase. But you have like 3 or 4 pieces of porcelain if that's how many if you were grabbing more than one, I should say.
Yeah, I'll grab 3 or 4 because it is that could be. It's like, well, my initial intent is to pick it up because it's something I could reuse later. But I will also show it because it does seem out of place. I'll show it to everyone else when we regroup.
Okay. And then, so that was kind of retconning. Now you've all met back up on kind of that back wet bar area.
Which decanter did the wife drink from?
There's one. It's got this kind of. It's very like almost a genie bottle shaped, not like a lamp, but it's got a wide base, kind of a circular with a long stem coming up.
Okay, so I'd like to take that decanter. I'm going to hand it back to Rose. Say, Rose, hold on to this one, baby.
There's nothing in it.
Wait, just hold on to it for a moment.
Okay.
And now I'm looking at the wet bar, and I want to look for the most prominent masculine-looking bottle that I can find.
What does that mean? It's a square bottle. It's square shaped, very sharp edges.
The big square manly bottle.
Kind of yay tall, small stem, but very square shaped. It's got very dark liquid in there. Clear bottle, no label.
Whiskey?
Yeah, first whiff.
All right, I'll cap it, and I'm going to tuck it into my sewing bag.
Okay.
So Rose, I think that would
add those to your inventory list if you would.
I'm just taking the whiskey decanter because if I'm assuming this is, I'll say it in care. I'm assuming that this is what the Mister was drinking out of, and if there's a chance that somebody muddied up his whiskey, that may have caused him to lose his footing, it might be good for us to hold on to it. Now, that bottle the missus was drinking out of, so I'm pretty sure it's fine. But maybe we could bring this other one. Well, maybe we can bring the
dropped or something.
Well, maybe we can bring the whiskey bottle up.
Yeah.
And try to get the wife to have a drink. Or, whoever we may suspect, but, we could try to get the wife to have it.
So you think it was poisoned, maybe?
Well, I mean, it's a definitive possibility. Let's be honest. Everyone's talking about this man who drank all the time fell off the boat. Now, Rose, how many times have you and I put away an entire fifth in a single evening?
Oh, 3 times a week for.
And have either of us ever fallen off of a boat, except for that one time in Cancun?
No. No. Not only have we never fallen off the boat, but we haven't even put a scratch on Pepper. So,
exactly. This man did not fall off his boat.
No. There's no way he could have. There's no way he could have. And then with the earring there, and the fake suicide letter, and then what they told us about the blood spatter. There's something afoot here. I think you're right.
See?
Are we all together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking this is leading towards a theorize. I don't know if it's too soon to make this roll. But you are having a freewheeling discussion about the solution to the mystery based on the clues that you have uncovered. I'll leave it up to you. Would you like to make a theorize roll? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clues.
I will say the blood spatter is still a little disconcerting because it's not really in line unless the man was injured or somebody was injured. The broken porcelain.
They got us into a scuffle. Him and his son probably did. Like, that might be unrelated.
Well, the broken porcelain could result in the blood spatter. And then the weapon that was used, the porcelain, thrown away. And then he could have fallen off while dazed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all that sounds great, but what do we think about this $10,000 receipt that was a clue? It's like, how does this play into it?
We still don't know what was purchased, though. I mean, $10,000 for tools, what?
Now, do we think that it was a purchase that someone bought that they shouldn't have bought something? Maybe they don't have as much money as they thought that they had. What do you think about that?
I mean, dear, how much does the charity business pay? Is it a profitable business?
In favors.
And yet, $10,000 is throwaway money for
$10,000 is nothing, right? It's candy.
Okay.
But you will remember there was like a handful of receipts.
Okay.
You just saw the price on the one. And as you all are having this conversation towards the back of the boat, you see a kind of frumpy looking young, mid-20 aged woman, kind of holding her hands and kind of like curled into herself, running down that thoroughfare, and immediately takes kind of across from Emily's room and goes inside, and you hear that door slam, and there were some sobs coming from it. And Lakshmi, you would know that is Sarah, ran into her room and kind of closed the door.
There's our golden ticket, girls.
That's her. I'm telling you.
That's who we need to talk to. She knows something.
She's a very easily frightful person. So let's take it easy with her, okay?
All right. Wait.
On delay. We only have an hour, right? On the boat. So let's go talk.
Let's let Abuela talk to her because Abuela's a nice one.
I would say you are getting close to that hour time limit if you care about it. You have the boat, so.
I totally do not care about it.
Yeah, no, there's no way. There's no way that Betty would care.
That's true.
So
we just ply him with empanadas and gin afterwards. Like, sorry.
Do we want to make a theorized roll? I don't want to push that. I don't know if that's something I should be pushing. But you do have 5 clues, so it's going to give you a +5 to your roll at this point. Or do you want to uncover a little bit more and kind of get a definite?
Let's talk to the other sister first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as we're walking up to the other sister, I just point out to both of them, the reason that you never fall off Pepper is because you're going 5 miles an hour. So there's nothing to go and ruin. You're literally scooting along so slowly.
And when we were in Mexico, if I can remind you, I said don't touch the peyote, and you did. So it wasn't just the alcohol.
Well, I mean, when I stopped vomiting, I felt wonderful, Abuela.
As we all did. But how many times have we got to tell Sherry Dairy Pimple that we pay so many taxes in this little town? Like, he should get these streets fixed. This is why it has to be on the sidewalk, because there's all these potholes and then all these metal plates that are just everywhere that they're just. I spilled my martini in the wagon
it's
while
the
we're
sheriff's
driving.
job to do the potholes.
Do you know how hard it is to get a Vespa to go fast with 4 ladies in it?
Like, we're doing all we can.
I don't know what you mean by that. I spend 4 hours a day doing cardio. Do not
Well,
put that on me.
well, I'm not saying it's your ass that's causing the problem, sweetheart. It's mine for sure. Abuela's cooking is fantastic, and this derriere is
I love
proof
so much.
positive.
I'm just so happy somebody enjoys my conchas. I mean, long time I haven't been able to share my conchas.
I will eat every single one of them.
I love eating conchas so much.
What's happening?
Really nice when we put the soak it. What the secret ingredient is in my conchas?
I hope you're-
Kahlua.
Oh, I'm sure glad you didn't say love, because love doesn't get me nearly as drunk as Kahlua.
As you are talking and walking, you get close to that door that Sarah Krause had come into, and you can hear from the outside a conversation being had through tears and cries and sobs. Her saying basically, well, tell them good night and make sure they are tucked in and make sure little Bobby has his stuffy, and tell Mom will be home soon. Mom will be home soon. And she's like kind of breaking down at that point, and you hear the conversation kind of end, and the sobs pick up.
I'll shove the door open for Abuela in classic Violet fashion.
Not now, Andrew. As she's kind of like on her knees, leaning on the bed, almost in like a prayer position, and back to you, thinking it's the butler. Not now. I need a minute.
Oh, Abuela,
Miss
she
Sarah?
needs you.
Oh, Miss Sarah, I'm so sorry that your papa is gone. Do you remember me?
You can see her kind of like take her hands up to her face and grabs her sleeve and cleans her eyes. I do not. No, I don't. And she turns and like sees you all standing there, and kind of like trying to compose herself, kind of wringing her hands together. What is it?
And so with this, Margarita takes out her hand embroidered napkin with the initials that it's of her husband and hers, and hands it this very fine beautiful Mexican embroidery lace to use to dry her tears.
Yeah, and she, oh, thank you. What? Why did he have to die? You don't think somebody murdered him, do you? I can't even think about it.
Oh, sweetheart. Lakshmi, I'm so sorry. I'm going to walk up and just put that shawl I've been working on over this poor girl's shoulders. Kind of pat her on the side of the head. There you go. Look, these colors are very vibrant. They're very sweet. They will energize your life, I promise. Trust Abuela and just wrap yourself up and forget about all the pain, dear.
Oh, mija. And I just put my arms out. I put my arms out to kind of draw her in and just kind of smother her with my, ample abuela.
And you're doing this to Sarah?
Yes.
Yeah, she melts into your embrace and just kind of like sobbing into your shoulder.
They're there.
Where were you when this happened? I can't believe this happened to your family. And I like take her hand in mine and am really trying to force a loving, nurturing energy, and I don't have that. It fully is like that 30 Rock image of like petting somebody with a broom. Like that's the we don't know how to do it.
I think I was at the front. Don't tell me what the front of the boat is. I don't know what it's called. I was at the front.
Now.
And I was just staring at the stars and thinking about my kids. And then
Would you like a drink, dear?
No, I've had too much. I need to be.
Look, I've got some of your father's whiskey right here. You want some?
No, and she the presence of it and the smell that kind of comes out of it engages those waterworks again in her, seeing something that was her dad's. And just goes right back into your shoulder, Margarita.
Well, Sarah, when did you last speak with your father? Did he seem upset?
No, he was probably a few drinks in, so how can one be upset? When there is that, go ahead and give me a meddling move with presence. Meddling move with presence.
Okay, that would be for Margarita?
Yeah, 2d6, and then if you put a modifier in presence, you would add that. Otherwise, it's just a straight 2d6.
It's a straight 2d6.
Okay, a 9.
Ooh.
That's a success with complication.
Oh.
Oh, well then.
Hello.
What were the last words you said? Sorry, my mind slipped.
I asked what was the last exchange that she'd had with her father.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
we were down in the back of the boat, and he was fixing a drink, and he was writing in something, and quickly put it away as I approached, and I asked what was wrong and if I could help, and he said, "Of course not." He gave me the boop on the nose that he would do when I was a baby, a child, and we kind of had a quick hug, and that was it. That was the last time I saw him.
Where'd that writing go?
Was it a book?
It was a journal or like a little leather-bound diary. He put it in his pocket. I don't know.
So Betty gets very curious about this because she has a leather-bound journal in her pocket, and she pulls it out. She says, "Is it something
like that?" But the leather was much more expensive.
She says, "I have you know this is like Italian cows or whatever it is." Very expensive.
Sorry, I shouldn't joke this time.
And so, if you're laughing with your father dead here, it's like, "Are you the killer?"
You are it. No, absolutely. I couldn't even think of doing such a thing.
How are your siblings doing?
They're in
That's where I was going.
own corners of the world. They might as well be different continents. I don't ever really see them. David is being snippy as ever, and Emily withdrawn into her phone. And, all Mom can talk about is the suffering testicles. Yes.
So with all this testicle talk and your brother and your sister, did you hear anybody fighting or anything like that, or did you hear any glass breaking, or do you know anything that happened with that?
No, there was
As Betty pours a drink of the whiskey to see if she would drink it,
from the top deck there was a call to kind of hang on because we were hitting some chop. But other than that, no, I didn't hear anything out of the
First we've
unusual.
heard. That's interesting. Interesting indeed. Sweetheart,
Yes.
so how is your family doing? I couldn't help but overhear you putting your little boy to bed. Is that what I heard?
My 3 little chickens are doing. They're missing me.
3?
Yeah, I have 3 children.
Well, you have been productive, haven't you?
Yeah.
Bless your heart. So let me ask you something. Your husband is with them, right? Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
And what does your husband do?
Clark? Oh, he runs the local like little hardware store at the outskirts of Boston.
Oh, that must be a big change for you coming from this lap of luxury
Mm.
into the life of just a hardware store.
To be honest, it doesn't really turn a profit. My
You're struggling, aren't you?
my inheritance sort of covers the bills.
The inheritance from just tonight.
Well, no, I'm sorry, I misspoke. My allowance.
Oh, you get an allowance. Is that from your
Wait.
father?
Yes, we get from the Kraus family.
So,
Or
Sarah, have you ever been so bad where you'd had to sell any of your jewelry to make up for the?
Oh no, I would never. And she kind of clutches her bracelets that she's got on and holds the necklace. No, of course not. You don't think that Why? I feel like this is taking a turn.
No. Oh dear, you misunderstand. You entirely misunderstand. We're wondering if perhaps, and I'm going to look around conspiratorially. We're wondering if perhaps that little deviant sister of yours might have been stealing jewelry on the side.
Emily, no. She has really no use for jewelry.
What about those fancy earrings?
The diamond ones that Dad gave her.
Yeah.
Well, those were a gift.
Well,
She
you know,
turned
one
16.
of them's missing. You know.
No.
Yeah.
What about your brother? He's got this awful fashion.
I don't
war.
want to. And
How is
Sarah
that even
is
doing?
Sarah is a polar opposite on the fashion scale here between her and David. Oh, I cannot stand some of those.
Truly
They're
awful.
not even clothes, right?
No, they're not. They're not. How is that? How's the business going? I mean, is he actually doing well, or is that a front?
His gallery? Sure. In back home in Boston, there are many like-minded people that find beauty in that sort of thing. Not something I was ever.
Idiots, just idiots.
You said it, not me.
Well, you know,
You don't think one of them would have done this?
well,
No.
you tell us, Sarah. Do they have reason to? I mean, do you think David would have to for some
They've
money?
never been in want for anything in their life.
What about your mother?
He seems to want.
Tell me about you.
Have your mother and father been very close lately?
What does that mean? It's not like Clark and I
Well,
have
did it-
been close.
So do they spend a lot of time together, or?
Traveling, yes, and taking the yacht from bay to bay. But I would not call it a loving marriage. You know, that kind of fades with time, right?
Oh, I don't know. My passion for my Walter, I still have so much. Muy mucho fuego.
You know, we have a lot of indifference. Oh, Eugene and I, but we were friends. We you know, I'm just so jealous of the passion of Abuela there. And
Jim was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I've never met a man that could hold you in his arms the way he used to hold me. It was just like being swept up in a gentle hurricane and brushed off to some fancy estate off in the fields of southern France under the sunlight. And I cannot even begin to tell you. I feel the goose flesh rising on my arms and the butterflies in my stomach. It's like being wrapped up in Judy Garland's sock drawer.
Well, I hope Clark and I will continue to have that passion in our marriage.
He doesn't leave you for his business partner.
ooh, good point. Because that happens 9 to 5, 40-hour week.
Ricky? No.
It's happened before, darling. Just be prepared.
So where is Ricky now, do you think, Sarah? And what is his take on jewelry, and does he have access to Emily at
I'm
all?
sure Ricky's at home in bed.
Look, sweetheart, look. He'll come up and kind of pull that shawl around her nice and tight.
This is very nice.
Kind of rub her cheeks in that southern old grandma kind of way. You just take care of you and your little ones. You go ahead and get you some rest now.
I will.
We left a drink on the night table for you. You finish that all up. You hear?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You listen to me now. That's Violet's orders. You do as I say, okay? I know what's rest. All right. Now you lay your little cute little butt down there and you get some rest, okay?
She pulls back the covers on the bed and kind of kicks off her shoes and kind of slips in and gets comfortable.
Well, thank you for disrobing and getting to bed with 4 strangers in your room.
Didn't disrobe, but just her shoes.
Okay. Well, whatever it is, you feel comfortable enough to get in. And
yes.
Well, I think we're on to something.
The drink and the shawl and the marriage advice.
Marriage advice.
You need to get an app for your business. It'll go really good. You should hire Lakshmi here. She can help you out with that.
Sure. We could maybe later. Maybe later. Please
Call us if you can.
Of course.
Also, add me on Facebook and LinkedIn.
I got one of them friend face things somewhere.
Yeah. If you could please close the door on your way out.
Sure.
And as you close the door, that sobbing begins again, and kind of gets back into the moment of the reality of the moment.
You said we're right across from Emily?
Yeah, so there's like kind of 4 doors here, and they're kind of opposite, but yes.
Is Emily's door still cracked open?
No, it's been closed at this time now.
I want to go put my ear up to the door.
You just hear like the clicking of, she's got the haptic sounds on her phone. So just rattling off these text messages.
I think she's on that texting. What did you call it? Tenders?
They're talking the tenders to the matches. Yes,
she's talking the tenders with the spaces and you know what I'm talking about. I don't think she did it, but girls, I think she's playing some sort of part here. This one kind of pointed Emily's door. I think.
Do you think because of the indifference to it?
The indifference, the missing.
Do you think maybe we should check? These other 2 rooms? We haven't been in these yet, right?
Well, I think what we need to do is find this journal more than anything. If he had the journal on him when he fell into the water, we may be in for some trouble. But what if he put it down somewhere? Where did he slip from?
Like he did.
Where did he slip from? Where was the fall?
Well, we've only seen the girls' room so far. Perhaps we should look into what might have been his room to see if the journal's there.
So, Lakshmi, do you know where the room is where he and Amanda would be?
No, I would never come on this basic ass yacht. And I know it's fully better than anything I've ever been on, but that's just how petty I am. And so, but I can only assume that one of these doors are leading into I just start opening them as if I would know.
The first one you open, right across from Emily's room, is the bathroom. And if you move on, the other door of the 4 is another bedroom.
I'm going to step into the bathroom and look around because we saw blood, that stipple of blood. Perhaps someone came in here to clean up. So I want to investigate in the bathroom.
Okay.
Because we know, the staff they have would keep this immaculate.
Yeah.
So
Andrew, the butler, would not let anything stay dirty. So go ahead and give me a meddling. Is it meddling? What the hell is it called?
I think
searching for a clue.
Yeah,
it would
meddling.
be med-
Sorry.
Yeah.
With reason.
Okay,
Your
so
reason
it'll be
modifier. 2d6
it'll be 2d6 plus 1 for me. Yeah, 10.
10. All right.
Wow.
So in the bathroom, and you have like full run of the room here. Nobody's in there. It's just a single user bathroom. You find stuffed under the sink, in the little cabinet under the sink, a bloody rug. Rug. R-U-G.
Rug.
I pull this out and I'm turning and showing it to everyone else, saying, "Look what I found."
Well,
And it's been like shoved into the back. There's been like some stuff put in front of it, some cleaning supplies, some extra toilet paper, but it was put behind it, kind of all crumpled up.
Well, now that's interesting. Where does it look like the rug came from? Does it look like a decorative rug or a bath rug?
No, this has more of a kind of utilitarian kind of feel to it. Not like a decorative hallway runner or
Like an outdoor carpet?
So more of a kitchen rug rather than like a bedroom rug or something?
Yeah. It's got like a little bit of grip to it on the bottom, a no slip kind of feel.
Well, does this look like something you'd see in the kitchen?
I would say yes.
This is a kitchen rug.
All right. Well, let's bundle it up here. Put it in my big old sewing bag here. We're taking this one with us.
So,
and you are definitely over the hour of the boat, having the boat.
Yeah, we ain't worried about that. So it's like, so we can go to the kitchen, and we can look for some more clues, see if there's some where this, find a rug that was similar. Maybe there's some blood or more splatter or something like that. We could piece it together, or we could go into this Amanda and was this Victor or whatever his name is, Albert's room, to look for maybe for the journal. So
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we should go into this other room to see if we can find the journal.
Yeah, since
Yes.
we're here.
Yes, Claro. I agree.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so you head over into what you would think would be David's room, and looking into the closet, you can tell this is David's room. It's got all these kind of outrageous kind of outfits, very gaudy, and nobody would ever wear but him. Yeah, what are we doing in here?
Searching.
So,
okay.
Yeah, we're looking for earrings. I'm looking for now we have the journal, the paper, anything like that would be.
There's some more.
Whoever wants to do it, I'll give you advantage if you're all kind of doing a group check here. We'll let one of you roll. So maybe who has the highest modifier. Y'all have +1, but if one of you put extra in there, you could roll. Otherwise, whoever, I'll give you advantage though.
What's
I have 2 on presence just because of my Jonathan Hart thing.
This would be a reason. So if anybody's got 2 on reason, I would say you should do it. But you do have advantage. So
I've got 2 on composure. I'm the brave one. So I'll keep watch.
Okay.
I can roll 3 dice. You mean do my real 3 dice here?
Yeah.
2 stocks.
Looks like you're up, Betty.
With advantage, I have 7.
Solid.
Shall I wear a crown of the queen? Obviously.
Let's wear it.
Do it. We're kind of getting close to the end here, so yeah, you might want to.
And there's no way I'm not going to show you how I satisfy my physical desire.
All right.
telling you that is how I am. So Betty is in her studio with this canvas. It's a 36 by 48 canvas that she bought at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or something. She has prepped it. She's put initial gesso on it, but she just hasn't painted anything on it for like 12 years, right? So she's just sitting in her studio. She's got her wet bar. She's drinking martini, and how she satisfies her physical desires is like she's jealous of Violet and the knitting and whatever. And so she sees what Violet does and how Violet has this stuff and has this wonderful hobby but notices Violet's hands, right? And so what Betty did was to buy some cuticle cream and some lotion to give to to Violet. And so then what Violet does, or what Betty does, is just rub it on her own hands because she loves the way that it feels. It moisturizes it really, really well. And she loves the way that her moisturized cuticle creamed hands look as she's holding a martini glass. And this gives her so much pleasure but she just feels guilty that she didn't give the gift to Violet, but she's kept it for herself.
I love it.
That's brilliant.
That could have gone so many ways. And I'm glad it didn't. So thank you. So that moves it into a normal success. All right. So let me make sure. So that was a hit. You find a clue, and I'm going to tell you what it is. You find in the drawer, the bedside drawer, a pile of documents on official letterhead that call into question the paternity of one of the children.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's amazing how this parallels my real life. It's just amazing how this happens.
So, if you want to spend more time with it and kind of figure out
with the paternity test that's there, or what are we spending time
well,
with?
it's like a thick, like legal stack of documents, and at first glance, it's kind of like some perfunctory introduction into kind of easing the reader into the news that's to come. So if you want to spend a little bit more time with it, you could kind of wade into the other pages.
I'm going to continue to keep watch.
Okay.
Give that document to Lakshmi, because if anyone knows how to read legalese, it's her.
It is definitely not Betty.
Right. Okay.
And Abuela and Betty, you guys keep searching.
Okay. Keep what?
Keep searching in the meantime. See if anything else.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'll keep watch out in the hallway.
I'm kind of going off script here. I think this could be a big clue, so I want to give you time. Give me a reason roll with disadvantage because.
Okay.
Because.
With disadvantage.
So you're going to roll 3 and take the lower because David is coming down the hall towards Violet.
Oh, don't you worry about David. I got this.
Okay.
So 3d6, right. And we'll take the lower 2, and I believe you get to add 1 to it.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been. There's a 6 and a 5, so we're gonna take the 5 and the 2, 7, 8 is the total.
8 is the total, and then I'm gonna put on a crown.
Okay. All right.
If that's a.
Yeah, let's do it. Pick which crown are you gonna wear?
Let's do something fun. Something dark. Okay, so this is gonna be a private side of Lakshmi in present day that most people don't get to see.
Okay.
So, her therapist told her that she needs to get some hobbies. And so now what she does once a month is she travels across the country and she participates in LARPing. But it's fully like it's like weird, like it's not like LARPing where you're like recreating like some kind of war and you're camping out for multiple days at a time. This LARPing is like My Little Pony LARPing.
Okay.
And she's really, really gotten into it. Like she's on the Discord. She's like, there's like and she's like, this is something that's like such a big part of her that she has a separate laptop for it that she doesn't share with anybody else. She's got a whole group of friends. Created this whole world that is just like she's a different person. She's like in the whole My Little Pony universe, she's like the nice one, and like it's basically her reliving her life as a different person than she is completely. Um, and so she's just thinking back to that, and she's like, "Why? How the hell am I in this? I could be with my homies right now,
All right.
bronies, doing this whole thing."
Oh my God.
And she bailed on that weekend to be here, and now she's pissed that she's here. So, yeah, that's what she does. Yeah.
Brony LARPing, I love it.
All right.
She is a brony. Oh my God.
All right.
How come that wasn't in the cozy place or whatever it was? We gotta bring that up.
Okay. So you move up. What was your roll? You rolled a
I think I got
8?
I got a 9.
9. Okay, so that brings you up into the 10, 11. So no complications. David walks right past you, Violet. He's going to the bar in the back.
Yeah, I'm like steady, like knitting him. Like,
Yeah,
I'm giving him
he
the
had no
look.
intention of going into his room. Walks right past.
Damn right you didn't.
You find like 4 or 5 pages in, you find circled. Sarah is not his daughter.
Dun, dun,
Sarah is
dun.
not his daughter. Sarah is the child in question for the paternity test.
So do
I
we
have-
think that Sarah found out that and knew and then like
No,
didn't want no one else to know or
You're getting off the wrong track there, Rose. Sarah ain't the problem. This means that Mama and Daddy weren't exactly the only ones sharing that bed. You know what I'm saying? This is the Mrs. version of Steve coming into the picture here.
You know, I think if I remember correctly, like 4 months ago, it was a book I didn't read, but in one of our book clubs, like this story came up, right? Like this was like one of the things, right?
Are you doing it? Are
Are
you
you
doing the
doing
Gold
it?
Crown Mysteries move?
Well, I only will if everybody else is doing it.
No, let's do
This
it. I think
This reminds me of something that happened to Amanda
Yeah.
Delacote.
All right, let's do it. So we collectively need to come up with the title of that novel of Amanda Delacourt. And what was she going through? So what is the name of this mystery in question that you are bringing up?
Sleeping with the frenemy.
Sleeping with the Frenemy, featuring Amanda Delacourt.
Yes.
What situation did she find herself in that is similar to what we're experiencing?
Well,
I think it's pretty evident, right? This
Yeah.
There was a significant other
Yeah.
that was unknown, and there was a child that was
Supposed to be
Had.
part of the family, but wasn't.
Yeah.
okay.
But did he pass away from testicular cancer?
That's on the nose.
From riding on pepper too hard.
Yeah. How does Amanda overcome that problem or resolve the situation in that novel, Sleeping with the Frenemy?
How would she overcome that?
So first,
So what
I
would
would say
she
Amanda would need to determine proof that it happened, which we found the proof, much like she did in the documentation. But
And then what was her relationship with her other possible siblings? Would that matter or impact? Or
well, what if the
You know
actual
he's bailing her out, right? He's bailing her out. They've got this failed business.
what
And why does
if
this have these documents? Is he jealous that she's getting money and he might not be?
could be? What if the actual father is the one that signed the document? The attending physician is the actual father.
Oh no.
That's right. The missus has been stripping the gynecologist.
I'll say this: using the Golden Crown Mysteries move, you get a 12+ on a single relevant roll. And I'm gonna say, you dig deeper into the document, and you find out that the other half of the test is the name is there, and it is Etienne Beauregard, the fishmonger.
the fishmonger.
Dun dun dun.
Let's say that.
Oh no.
So
Abuela was going to figure this one
Amanda,
out if we ever made it.
Amanda is the mom. Etienne is the father.
And
Of
David
Sarah,
knows.
of Sarah.
David knows because we found the document in his room.
Oh my God! So, well, that changes it. Well, this is a different book. Maybe this is a sequel.
Well, here, put that document in my big old sewing bag here.
All right.
Next to the bloody rug.
Next
Yeah,
to the
so
bloody
they didn't
rug.
kill the dad for making a Sarah. The dad found out, and so Sarah killed. Oh, I don't. It's just too much for me.
But the fishmonger wants his girl. What if he killed the man? He could have been out here on a boat fishing.
Well, he does have a dinghy.
Yeah,
What if
if
the-
you were
what
just
if-
a regular fish market, now you have all this big money. Think of the fleets that you could have.
I bet him and the wife are conspiring.
Yeah,
I bet
of
they
course
are.
But
This is how you control the fish market.
I think it's time we had a little chat with the fisherman.
Do we talk to the fisherman or we talk to Amanda first?
Amanda's belligerent. The fisherman will never see us coming.
but I wonder though about the missing diamond earring, or is that just a red herring?
I think it's a red trout. What are we talking about?
Oh, the fishmonger's gifts. The fish. Who gave? Oh, so wait. Oh, wait.
Red snapper.
I think at this point we should do a theorize roll. You
Let's
have
do it.
you have 7 clues,
Yeah.
and so we're having a discussion about the mystery. We get a roll plus the number of clues minus the mystery's complexity. So we're going to minus 6. So you get a +1, essentially. I forgot that you have to minus. So it's 2d6 plus 1. I don't want to push the roll. I forgot that we minus stuff. So maybe you want to talk to the fishmonger first. But if you succeed on this theorize roll, you're going to nail down who did it.
If we fail, what happens?
So on a 6-, the solution is incorrect and the keeper reacts. On a 7 to 9, it's correct, but an unwelcome complication arises. On a 10+, it's a correct solution, and I will present an opportunity to take down the culprit. On a 12+, a person involved in a dark conspiracy of Brindlewood Bay also reveals themselves to the Maven.
Ooh.
So
2 for 1.
that's a tight margin.
Yeah, yeah.
2 + 6 + 1 to get a pretty high number.
I mean,
All
I
right,
think we go for
Lakshmi,
it.
Snacks, let's roll it. Abuela,
You want to
one of
do
y'all
it?
two want to do it?
You still have the fishmonger and the fish market to check out, and I am being conscious of the time here, so I don't. We are at 2.5 hours, so I mean,
You're
if
right,
we're good on
yeah.
time, we can definitely flesh out the fishmonger.
We could speed out there on the boat. We have a boat.
Yeah, you do.
Or
mean,
we have to do, we have to
again, right?
Say that again, Isha.
We can always theorize again, right?
Yeah, it's not like one and oops, we failed and the game's over. No,
Okay.
you get to do it again. It's just that person is taken out of the running.
so
That-
if we're accusing the wife right now,
Sure.
basically.
And if you fail
Okay.
6 minus, the wife didn't do it.
All right.
Okay. So
Let's
we
do
have a
it. Let's-
2d6 plus 1.
Let's piss this woman off. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So are you thinking the wife did it?
We're thinking she was a
Okay.
co-conspirator.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So 2d6 plus 1.
Okay. You want
Abuela?
who?
I think you got
I'll
it.
roll it.
Margarita.
2d6.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
do we have a reroll?
Those are ones.
Can
Do we have a
roll
roll?
every crown
I
possible?
don't know if you can on theorize. I don't think you
But-
can wear a crown.
Do we have a reroll in chat?
Can we have a
Theorize
yeah.
is not subject to any modifiers on the die roll, advantage, or the effects of the gold crown mysteries move, nor can it be affected by putting on a crown. So
How long do we have to stall to get a reroll in chat?
just sit here silently. So your theory of, let's see, on a negative, the incorrect and the keeper reacts.
She can be so mad.
Yeah. The thought of accusing Amanda, I believe it. No, not Amanda. What the hell was her name? Asher. No, it was Amanda. Too many Amandas.
It's Amanda.
Of her kind of irks anybody you bring it up to. Like there's no way that could have been.
Well, I don't feel like we're welcome on this boat anymore, ladies.
Yeah,
there we
and
go.
I will
Oh,
say
my
with
God.
that crit fail, you're welcome.
God.
Andrew the butler begins to like, okay, time is up. Time to leave, ladies.
Vamonos.
Yes.
Andale.
Vominos.
Let's head for the
I'll
Yeah.
very carefully change boats with this big bulging soda.
All right. We're gonna kind of fast travel here. We're gonna say you're 2 hours on that boat, and so an hour late bringing it back. Your contact, Lakshmi, is very upset, but okay, you've probably burned that bridge. You go to do you want to go that night? Because now it's like 8-9 o'clock at night. Most things are starting to shut down. Do you want to do that tonight, or do you want to come back in the morning?
I would say it's going to be pretty deserted. It might be easier to catch Etienne in the morning when he's starting to set up
Agreed.
and everything. So even the fish market opens at 6 a.m. However, we know he'll be out there, say at 4 a.m. because he's got to get
Okay.
things set up and welcome the boats in. So,
Okay.
so I think that catching
Why don't
him
we-
at that time.
Why don't we all stay at Abuela's house and we'll get up bright and early and head over?
Oh, wonderful! I'll make some fresh tortillas and breakfast tacos. Definitely. Huevos,
Cranky's in
Yeah.
there
amigas.
on mobile. All right, so you spend the night, fresh tortillas in the morning. You have a breakfast. You head down to the fish market. Let's see. There's something I need to tell you. We're in a new scene. What do you see that reminds you of why you love the fish market? Or what about this place makes you hate coming down here?
Abuela in particular?
Yeah, we'll start there since you have the strongest connection with the fish market. And I would imagine you like coming down here. So what do you see that you love about this fish market?
Oh, I love the vast array of fresh of the different fish and the shellfish and I like that at this time in the morning it's actually very clean because everything's the night before they wash the decks off and everything. But all the stalls are ready with all of the ice there ready to pack in the fish. You see the live lobster tanks with the lobsters just full of lobsters. So just glorious abundance
All right.
of pescatorian cuisine.
Good. Do they do like the fish tossing like at Pike's Place in Seattle?
Ooh.
Oh,
Kind
yes.
of making a show of it. Okay, I like that. All right.
I can tell you what I like about it.
Okay, do it.
Violet, being Violet, probably 3/4 of the fishermen here are wearing her sweaters. They're
All
ugly
right.
as sin.
Yeah.
They are weird colors, but they're thick and they're warm
Yeah.
and they're sturdy. So the
All right.
fisherman, and she
So-
loves seeing people
Yeah,
wear
so
her
they
sweater.
always have something good to say to you. Yeah. Okay. Anyone love or hate this? Anyone else? Betty?
Lakshmi hates it. She's furious.
The
She's
smell.
like,
the-
I can't, like, she's just like frigid. She's not quite properly dressed for this.
Okay.
She like is wearing heels. Like, this is not the place to be doing that.
Yeah, and it's kind of like old cobblestone, kind of
Yeah.
old road. So your heels are very hard to like catch a good
Yeah.
footing. All right.
Yeah, and so it's still early enough in the morning where Betty's sober enough not to stumble on the cobblestones, and so that would be a saving grace for now.
Okay. And it is super early in the morning. No other shops are really set up yet. You know, the fish market sets up early because there's a lot of prep and to get going. So everything else is rather quiet. It's not really fully light out yet. And as you pull up on Pepper, you do see Etienne and some of the other fishmongers kind of setting up in their it's like a warehouse, their market, their personal stall. Big roll-up doors. They got 2 roll-up doors open with a single man door off to the side, and they're starting to put out some of those ice display cases and rolling out the lobster as you guys pull up. Are you pulling right up front, or are you parking away and approaching on foot?
Oh, right up front.
Okay.
2 of us are very well known here.
Yeah. Etienne sees Pepper pull up with all the other mavens in there. So early. But why? Margarita, you are usually not here this early. You're always the first customer, but not this early.
Well, this is true. I always I always want to be first pick. I know that you always say, oh, don't worry, get here whenever. You'll put that aside, but you know I'm very particular about selecting my fish.
Yes, of course. We have a fine mackerel in today.
Spanish mackerel?
Spanish? Sure. Yeah. I don't know any other type of mackerel. So it's definitely Spanish mackerel.
Yes. Oh, wonderful. Well, definitely. I will be putting an order in for quite a bit of that. Doing some extra, going in and helping teach some cuisine. But that's not why we're here.
We don't have the cash drawer open yet, but I know you're good for it.
Yes.
We'll get some wrapped up.
We'll put it later. But we have more important discussion.
Okay.
Violet, you wanna?
Etienne, did you hear the news?
News? What?
The news about
Brindlewood
that
Bay is
poor...
getting the potholes filled.
No, about the poor man that fell off his boat.
Oh.
They say he was drinking.
Yes, I would.
And fell off his boat, left them
I
poor
would
children.
be lying if I told you I hadn't. And as Etienne is now kind of settled the ice trays, and he's now looking at you proper, you see a nice silver kept beard, and he's very strong and healthy, and kind of this warm, inviting smile, as he's kind of the salesman here. He's got to have a little bit of charisma. Been doing this for a long time, so he knows the ins and the outs. I would be lying if I didn't say I heard about.
Did you hear he left behind 2 children?
Ooh.
There were 3 Kraus children. I think.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I guess there are 3, aren't there? I get my numbers confused this early.
Yeah,
Very early, and I
we're
was
still
drinking
wiping
a
the
little
sleep
bit.
out. Aren't we?
But yeah, he left behind those poor children, and especially his young daughter, the one that's got 3 little babies of her own.
Yeah.
Did you know her?
Sarah, the oldest, of course.
Yes, Sarah,
I'm
that's her name. You do
very
know her.
good friends with the Krauses. And when Sheriff Derrywinkle came by and said if I would store Albert's body out of kindness to the family. I said, of course.
Is the body still here?
Yes. You know, some of the practices here in Brindlewood Bay are not up to code, and we don't have the services. But yeah,
I know this is going to sound a little morbid, so you have to excuse me, but you know how we are, us nosy little old ladies. Do you think, could we have a little peek? We just want to look. We ain't going to hurt nothing.
Look at the body.
Call it morbid curiosity.
That is definitely what it is. Give me. Yeah, you're gonna have to give me a.
This is some kind of move.
This is a day move, and you're going to use. You're going to use, what is the one? You're going to use presence for this.
Okay, so
day move presence.
Here we go. 6.
That's a fail.
I'm gonna use my crown.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. All right.
So I'm trying to, not physically, but I'm trying to seduce him into letting me have my way.
Making eyes.
What?
Okay.
I'm being old lady flirtatious.
Okay. All right.
Like I said, I'm not trying to get in the bed. I'm trying to get him to give it.
Okay.
So I'm going to use a flashback of my fondest memory of my late partner. So...
So you're doing a flashback of your fondest memory?
Of my late partner.
Okay. Tell us what that looks like.
So we're out on the coast of... we're out on the coast of Spain while he's on a tour of duty, and we've just had a big fight over me burning the meatloaf again, because Violet tries with all her might, because she loves her man dearly, but she is just a terrible cook. Her mama was too. It runs in the family, and she got so flustered because he spit out his first bite that she threw down her knife and fork and her napkin and her plate, and it started a big to-do, and they had a nice little row over it over the dinner table. And, you know, Violet, she's a very animated woman. She talks with her hands a lot. She knocked the candle over, and it actually caught fire on their nice lace tablecloth, which Jim, being the saint that he was, beat out with his bare hands, because Jim was a very brave man and not afraid of anything. And Violet was so upset because he burned his hands, and it was all due to her little outburst. She ran out through the sliding glass door, off the base, and out onto the docks, where she just leaned over that rail and had herself a nice loud cry, and said a little prayer, and just berated herself something silly. And just when she was at her absolute lowest, she felt this strong pair of arms come round her midsection. Oh, was it such a loving embrace? She just collapsed into those arms and melted there. And Jim, he reached down and placed a little kiss right on the back of her neck, and she shivered because it felt so nice, and she leaned back in. And she said, "I'm so sorry, Jim." And Jim just looked at her and said, "Yes, you are, dear, but I love you anyway." And they had a nice little laugh about it, and everything was okay.
All right. So you're asking to go in and see him, right? Is that was the thread that I lost? I'm sorry, I was so wrapped up in that. So that moves you into a success. What is something that you fear, Violet? It's not a clean success. There's a little complication here.
I say not much. She fears losing people.
Okay. All right.
Because that's the one thing that's hurt her in her life.
All right. Etienne says, "Well, yes, it's all the work that you do and the business that you, Margarita, bring to me. Of course, please. Although this is kind of weird, but yes, I guess you can go back and see him. And I'm going to say, Violet, as you walk in there and you see the body that does have like a kind of a tarp over it. It's like it's nothing medical grade or anything. It's just what they had there. You do get a little wheezy knowing that somebody has lost somebody else. And I'm going to say you now have a condition that is going to cause disadvantage because you are kind of lost in that, right? Your thoughts are now going back to the people that you've lost and realizing that at the end of this murder mystery, somebody lost somebody, regardless of who did it. And you're having a little moment there. So you'll have that condition with causing disadvantage. But you all walk into this kind of back room where they kind of keep all the cooler bays that they roll out. And there's one left in the corner, and that is the one with Albert on it. So please take your time. I have a little bit more setup to do. Get that wrapped up for you, Margarita, and be on our way.
I'll wait till Etienne kind of leaves us alone, and then I'm gonna.
He doesn't stick around. He knows daylight's coming and customers are coming as it is the busy season.
So Violet will kind of let herself go as soon as he's gone. She's and kind of let that emotional discourse roll out. She'll get the vapors a little bit and kind of turn away and get her handkerchief out and say, I'm no use here, ladies. You go take a look and see what you can find. Keep an eye out for that journal.
Well, then that is what Betty absolutely does. She goes over to the body and just starts checking it out. She's not a scientist or anything, but she just starts looking for clues, any scratches, any blood splatter around any of the appendages or fingers or whatever like that. Are there personal effects that are by?
All right, you're going to give me a meddling move with reason. Anybody else looking for things? So you're checking kind of fingernails, scratches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Margarita is going to take a quick. She's going to reach into her bag and take out a prayer candle.
Okay.
A Catholic devotional candle. And she's going to light it and just set it just a few feet away from his head.
Okay.
Respect and of his death.
It is giving off quite a bit of light because there's only one single bulb that's kind of half screwed in and it's kind of flickering. It's not the best lighting in here for investigating, but that kind of helps in the immediate presence of the body. Lakshmi, what were you thinking?
I think I'm grossed out by the body, and I really don't like the smell of this place. So I think I'm gonna stay away from the body, but like look around to see if there is like a place with personal effects or if any of Etienne's stuff is here that might be of interest too.
Okay. There is like a row of hooks that have kind of the Gordon Fisherman kind of rain slickers on, and you do see one that is empty except for like a haversack hanging from there, like a day bag. So if you want to check that,
I'll check
that would be with reason as well. So Betty and Lakshmi, go ahead and give me those meddling move rolls. 9.
Hey, that's gonna be a 10.
Be a 10.
And Betty's was an 8.
Betty's was an 8. All right. Let's see here. Let me make sure. A 10 versus an 8. A 10, you find the clue, and I'm going to tell you what it is. You find in this haversack a soaked, a piece of paper you could tell was wet at one time. It's like all kind of crinkly, right? It's been waterlogged. It has the Krause family letterhead on it, and it is a guest list with a number of guests. And about 3/4 of the way down, you see Etienne's name crossed off.
I bring it over to Violet because I know that she needs something to distract her. I don't know that, but that's the only way I know how to comfort people. So I just bring it over and I'm like, what do you think this means? This is bizarre.
Yeah, that'll get my attention for sure.
Yeah.
They'll take her out of her reverie.
Yeah.
So she'll look over it and think a minute. I guess this means that he knew David wasn't the only one. It means that this man was well aware that his wife was not being on the level, and his wife was actively inviting this man to their functions, most likely a charity event. Is this a charity event, you think?
This got to be a charity event. Like I look at it and I see the names. I think I can recognize a lot of the names on the list.
Yeah, let's say it's
And I've invited.
let's say it's the annual Warriors Ball, 4th annual Warriors Ball, in support of veteran testicular cancer guest list.
R.I.P. testicles.
So
must say that in all my time with my dear departed husband Walter, Amanda never invited. She seemed very reluctant for me to be there because of the work that I had done here when I was young. She just couldn't. She didn't. She felt it was important that working class should be kept separate, and once working class, always working class. So that for her to have Etienne on this list seemed just very, very strange indeed.
And then not only is it strange, like who is managing this list? Like who is putting this list together, and then who is going to check the list before the invitations are sent out? And so Betty's like, is it always the butler? Is the butler that did this? The guy with the tails at the beginning?
I think the wife's the only one who made this list. It's her charity event. She knew what she was doing.
Betty, as you were kind of looking through the body, no signs of a struggle or anything on the hands of Albert. But kind of under him in the ice box is a cod that has a rat stuffed in its mouth.
Is this normal fishmongery fishing? I don't know what the words were. Like, is this normal fish prep stuff, Lear? Is this a message like from the Godfather? What are we looking at here? Does anybody know?
From the Codfather?
From the Godfather?
Is that what stuffed fish looks like before it's cooked?
It's a cod with what in its mouth?
It's a rat.
A cod with a rat in its mouth.
And so does that mean that the father ratted somebody out, or he was a rat? What is this? This is too much.
Abuela, bring that thing here, if you would, please, dear. That fish.
Yeah, so I bring over the fish inside of a rat squirrel, whatever it is, and I give it to Violet.
So Violet, being Violet, her one strength is she's normally fearless. She'll just take that rat and just go yoink.
Separating it out. You have a cod and a rat now.
I'm gonna look in the cod's mouth. Anything else in there?
No, nothing really shows up. Nothing that you can see.
The message was the
when I look at the back of it, how was it put on the back of the with the father on this?
It was just kind of stuffed into the ice that he is resting on.
So, was the rat waterlogged?
Yeah, kind of waterlogged, or just picking up,
the ice,
wicking water from the melting ice. You don't know.
I don't know what to make of this one, ladies, but this doesn't seem natural. Cod don't eat rats, do they?
I mean,
Abuela, you would know fish better than anyone. Do cod eat rats?
No, not at all.
So somebody did this.
Margarita is going to walk up with a Kamal which is pretty heavy.
Okay.
It's several pounds, and she's going to actually walk up to the court and just smack it on his belly and on the court's belly to see what happens.
Oh, jeez.
And she just does this and doesn't explain what, and she's just gonna do it. And
is that an occult move? Is that what that is? Is
that what... this is going to be a day move. So you're doing something risky. What is something that you fear? I should have asked Violet this first before before they rolled. So Margarita, what is something that you fear?
I fear being buried alive. And that has manifested itself in my career. When I was first starting out working in the kitchen, and I expressed the fear of not being able to get out of the walk-in freezer. Okay. And later, I was pranked by someone taking me and putting me into one of our box type freezers for a bit of time and left me in there. So yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna make a vitality roll as you're doing something physical. So 2d6 and whatever your modifier is.
So that's the one I actually do have a modifier.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2d6 plus 1. 9.
9. Okay. So your action is going to leave you vulnerable, as it says here in the text. As you hit him in the stomach, he begins. You shift some of the strength of the hit, shift some of the ice that he's resting on, and kind of settles its body, and he sinks down into the ice, and the ice begins to now cover over him, almost like he's being buried. And you're having that sense, that fear come in. You don't know how far it's going to go. You can back off, or you can accept that roll, and we can. You're going to have a condition, essentially.
I'm going to accept it.
Okay.
And to lean in, overcome my fear, and focusing on his mouth to see whether the corpse expels air, gas, or water.
As you do that pressure and him sinking in, and it's almost just like kind of chest up is now protruding out of the ice. You're going to have a condition of just being, we'll say it's called being on ice. I couldn't think of anything else. Sorry.
Nice.
So you'll have disadvantage on rolls, but because you're worried about being buried, like the whole process. But out of his mouth, kind of that air pushing and the pressure pushes water out of his mouth.
So he wasn't completely dead when he went into the water.
Hey, I've read about this in our books. Yeah, that just means that he inhaled the water when he was under, so he was still pulling in breath. That was a good move there, Abuela.
Yeah, that was so smart. Oh my goodness.
I do hope that we're not going to have to explain this to poor Sheriff Picklewick.
Yeah, if old Sheriff Picklewick is going to want all these 10 clues, I just don't know.
Well, I will say it's advantageous. It wasn't another day because there's worse things that could have happened. Him, and I say this because I know what it's like to see animal and fish carcasses that have not been kept on ice long enough, and what happens is they decompose. Working in some of the fish markets in Central America,
I think we need
going through them and seeing what happens to them.
I think we need to discuss the very real possibility that Etienne is directly involved in this. It's very, very convenient that not only is he the actual father of that child and has been stripping the wife of this dead man, but also that he has the body here in his care. Meaning that if this man's journal that we were looking for was on this bottle, Etienne has it right now, and that may have damning evidence in it.
Are we doing a theorize roll?
Weird. I mean, It sounds like we got enough.
So conditions don't muddy the waters here. So it would just be a straight roll. And you have 10 clues minus story complexity of 6. So you're going to have a +4.
2d6 plus 4. Who's
Violet,
rolling?
Violet, don't you roll it?
You want me to roll?
Violet told it.
Wait, do you have disadvantage? Wait, don't you have disadvantage?
That doesn't work for the theorize because you're all kind of together, and it doesn't play it. Just like you can't use
inspiration, Lakshmi, for knowing that.
That's all right. Anybody bought us a reroll yet? All right, 2d6 plus 4, right?
2d6 plus 4. Shit. That's again 2 1s.
What?
2 1s.
Oh.
So that's a 6.
Oh my gosh. Dun, dun, dun is right.
How is that even possible?
I feel like you were thinking Etienne did this, or at least
Cranky, come
pushed
on.
hard for somebody to do it.
Oh, there's our reroll.
Hey, reroll.
That is incorrect. Reroll. Cranky, why you do this to me? All right, give me a reroll. Let's do it. Let's do it. 9. The solution is correct.
Thank you, Cranky.
Thanks, Cranky.
The keeper will present an opportunity to take down the culprit or otherwise save. No, the keeper will either add an unwelcome complication to the solution itself, or present a complicated or dangerous opportunity to take down the culprit or save the day. Here it goes. You're having this conversation in this ice room, and you're kind of all eyes are pointed to Etienne. He's been eavesdropping, and he saw that note come out of his haversack, and then he saw the huddle of the mavens. You see him bolt down the boardwalk in his yellow Gordon Fisherman slicker, and he is running.
All right, so
that is the dangerous opportunity there. That's the complication. And there's going to be a dangerous opportunity to take down that culprit.
Violet being Violet is going to, hearing the commotion, is going to say, branch out and go around, cut him off. I'm getting on Pepper, and we're going to catch this man.
As you say this, I'm going to grab I'm going to look down, and I see what is essentially a chain with a hook on it, and it's what you use to throw out and bring in the crab pots.
I like it.
And I'm going to do this. Keep in mind, I do have vitality.
Okay.
So, because who do you think was throwing fish at one point?
I like it. Okay.
So I'm going to take off.
Good. So you have the chain in hand. You're running after him. Mm-hmm. Violet is getting on Pepper. Betty, what are you doing?
I'm pulling the lever and dropping the sidecars.
Just one quick pull. All right, Betty, what are you gonna do?
I'm just in the wagon with my martini, just making sure it doesn't spill. Just
wagon stays attached. Okay,
wagon stays attached. Yeah.
Okay, Lakshmi, what are you going to do?
I am definitely not walking on these cobblestones, so I hop into the sidecar, but I'm furiously calling the sheriff as we're doing this.
All right, sidecar gets left behind because it was unhooked, but you're on the phone with the authorities.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least you're comfortable and not on those high heels on the cobblestones.
Yeah, I'm not on my feet.
We're gonna have some rolls. So, Margarita, you're gonna give me a vitality roll. Violet, what do you think? Would this be a composure?
Oh yeah, because I'm launching onto the boardwalk and I'm going in between the stalls and almost running people over.
I imagine Betty's giving you some helpful words.
Here. Yeah, just like, come on, we got that. We got
Betty is my cheerleader.
With advantage. With advantage.
Yeah. So do I lose my disadvantage?
Yeah, so it'll just be straight. It'll be straight roll. Lakshmi, give me a presence roll as you're on, or composure. I'll let you decide. I think you're pretty composed, so I don't think that would be it. I think it'd be more of a presence.
9. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I got a 9 for my composure.
9 for the composure. Do you have any
7?
7 for for the presents. Margarita, give me a vitality roll.
Okay, let's 2D.
So we got a 9, a 7. Those are
8.
8.
I'm going to.
Those are all.
I'm going to actually put a
successes.
crown on too.
Okay.
I want to try and boost that to a 10.
Okay.
Um,
Crown. Margarita, are you going to do a crown as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a crown.
Because this gets you all into the 10 plus.
Okay.
So what you intended to do is going to kind of go off. So quickly, let's go around the horn. We'll start with Violet, then we'll go to Lakshmi, and then we'll go to Margarita. Narrate something for me.
I'm going to go with a scene in the present day showing a burgeoning romance.
Of course.
And rather than it being a flashback, it's in real time.
Okay.
So we're pushing Pepper hard, right?
Yeah.
And I'm weaving and dodging. That wagon's just flailing around, and Betty's back there just somehow managing to keep this teeny glass completely stable, like it is a supernatural skill.
Okay.
And I'm looking over, and Betty's shouting that those classic Betty cheerleader lines that just embolden Violet and make her feel even more confident than normal. And then as we come around and we kind of clear some of the stalls, I hit this nice little ramp up onto the boardwalk, and we catch some air, and that wagon comes up, and in slow motion, I kind of look over my shoulder at Betty, and there's just sparkles in the air, butterflies in my stomach, and I realize in this moment, God damn it, I love this woman.
Oh, I love it.
Well, that's a turn.
I love it. All right. Okay. Lakshmi, go ahead and narrate Crown of the Queen for me.
Yeah, so this is gonna be the fondest memory I have of my late partner. He's late because he's dead in my eyes right now. Really alive. And this memory is of us being like at a gala, and we look amazing. We're working the room. We're having a great time, and towards like the later half of the night, we kind of come back together after working the room ourselves and talking to all these people, networking, and we just spend the next 2 hours of the event just talking shit about everybody, their clothes, their bad taste, their all the drama, the gossip, the like everything that we could figure out. Like the whole point of us going to these events is just getting gossip and scandal after scandal so that we could share and kiki together. And I look back on that and I'm like, God, that is my best friend. Why didn't I see it then? Of course he was gay. Like, but it is a really fond memory, and it's something I miss doing with him a lot.
All right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Margarita, narrate your Crown of the Queen for me.
So Margarita has a flashback as she has this chain, and it takes her back to when she was studying at the Cordon Bleu in Paris, France. And one of the things that you had to do was you had to catch your own fish and catch your own you had to get your own catch. And so she spent a glorious 3 weeks in Honfleur, which is on the northern coast, in this beautiful little fishing village where she met the Etienne, who taught her not only how to swing and cast the nets. And she remembers the glistening sweat and the sunlight across his chiseled chest. And then now she's in this moment, and yes, hoping that she will find the same vitality and strength as she's going to throw this chain with the hook on the end to catch this Etienne who's running away.
All right.
Awesome.
Would you mind if I said you turned this chain into like a bolo? You took your cast iron and wrapped it around one end, and with the hook on the other end, and you flung it. Would that be okay?
Oh yes, definitely, because
Okay.
it has the weight.
Good. All right. With all of those successes, Margarita running, fashioning this bolo, getting ready to launch it. Pepper and Betty on the or Violet and Betty on Pepper the Vespa, running up. You get past Etienne as he's running, kind of turn and crank it, and box him in. We have Lakshmi sitting in the sidecar in front of the fish market on the phone with Sheriff Dolly Pimple. What is his name? Oh, we've totally lost it now. Dalrymple. Getting him up out of bed and getting him down here, and you are being the most authoritative and just persuasive to get him there. That bolo comes whipping out of your hand, Margarita, and wraps around his right around his knees, kind of locking him in place, cementing him there. You have him in place now. And Pepper I keep calling you Pepper, Violet and Betty, you are the closest to him with Margarita catching up. Is there anything you'd like to do before the sheriff comes in?
Betty, grab the other end of the scarf.
Yeah, so I just grabbed the scarf and like pulled it in as hard as I can, and just like trying to tie it around to the wagon on the back.
I start wrapping him up in the scarf.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, your version of cuff him, getting him kind of locked in place. And during this time, I would have done anything for the Krause family. I would have done anything. I owe everything I have to them. It is unfortunate that the turn of events that took place, but it had to be done. Albert had to be removed from the situation, and he kind of confesses to all of it, getting that he was the one who did it. It pushed him off the edge. Yeah, he had his own little dinghy, came out, pushed him off the edge in the middle of the night with cahoots from Amanda. She was not totally free of this. There is blood on her hands. After 15 minutes pass, Sheriff Dalrymple comes in, wheezing as ever, and thanks you all for your help. And again, off the books, you weren't here. This was the work of the sheriff and the Brindlewood Bay Police Department taking care of this. And I think with that, that's going to wrap up our caper here, our murder mystery. It was the fishmonger the whole time. Folks, we did it. We made it. I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for the meddling old ladies. That is true. Let's go around the horn here and do a couple things. One, you can tell me who you are and where we could find you. We didn't do that at the beginning. We can do that now. And what would your maven, how would their kind of celebratory, what would their celebration look like as solving a caper? Should we go in the same order? Let's go reverse order. Isha playing Lakshmi tonight. Go ahead and tell us how would she celebrate? Where can we find you on the internets if you so want to share that? And what would the celebration look like?
Sure. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Meta Theory, MEHTA Theory. And I think that she would honestly go home and just take a bath and then get back on the dating apps.
All right. Yeah, well,
You did her
at the same time.
club,
Right?
and now she's gonna get back on the scene.
All the tenders.
All the Tinders and the ticker-tackers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of like a pamper, treat yourself, as they say,
Exactly.
and kind of take care of yourself and get back on the apps. Okay. Perfect. London, playing Betty Rose tonight. How would you celebrate?
Yeah, well, what Betty would do is she would go back to her studio into her little mini bar cart, and she would just be thinking about Violet's profession, or confession, or however that is, and she would get her cuticle cream out for some rubbing, as she would just pour herself a martini with the vermouth next to it.
Yeah. So some more pampering, self-care.
Yeah, of course.
I love
So
it.
she knows.
I love it. All right. Debbie Snacks playing Margarita. How would you celebrate? And where can we find you? Sorry. London, can we find you anywhere on the internet?
Well, you can find me on the FeatherFall Discord place
Sure.
for sure, but it's Dwayne Butcher on every internet
All right.
page in the world. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Debbie, where can we find you on the internet if you want to share? And how would Margarita celebrate?
So I spend probably most of my time on the internet in communities on Discord. So I can often be found hanging out the tavern with the crowd and spooky sprinkles. Here, FeatherFall TableTop. I lurk a bit in chat as well as in the Discord. But you can find me on Homebrew Roleplay every other Saturday
Yeah.
for the World of Cairn with Church here,
Awesome.
who I'm sure will tell you more. And on Monday evenings lately, for this past month, I've been a guest on TT2KB on the Watch Party, where we talk about the latest in movies and television. So I love that crew. And I think I'm coming on almost 19 months being part of a lot of these communities through Twitch and TT2KB. I mean, and the communities in Discord.
Yeah.
What Margarita would be doing is before her friends take off, she says, "Hey, come on over, everybody. I'll make some mojitos, and some margaritas, and cook up some fajitas. Let's go ahead and
Do the thing.
celebrate
Yeah.
together."
All right. I love it. That leaves us with you, Church, playing Violet.
I'm Church Warden, Churchimus. You can find me on Homebrew RP. We have D&D every Saturday, alternating games, like Debbie said, World of Cairn, and Sigil Confidential, Detective Noir, D&D. I'm also here every Wednesday on FeatherFall, some Tomb of Annihilation, my lovely Wisconsinite gnome artillerist.
The drummer.
For now.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
I would say Violet has come to terms with something very special in herself. Once everything had calmed down and Rose had gone home, she would probably go home and immediately start knitting the most resplendent sweater of her entire knitting career, specifically to give to her dear friend Rose.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Something with Brindlewood Bay is stars and wishes. Stars are things about the session that you enjoyed, and wishes are things that you would hope to see in a next session. So let's start with stars. Put you kind of on the spot here. Anybody want to share something that they really enjoyed about this session, inaugural session of Brindlewood Bay?
I'll go first. Yeah,
Go ahead.
Hit it. Yeah, what I like about it is the beginning, where at the beginning of it we introduce our character. We have these three things that you tell us to do, and then we wait, and then everybody goes around, and then we have these other questions that we answer. That's like that's so an interesting part of like trying to get to know your character and what everybody else is playing. It's such an interesting way to kind of start a game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Any other stars?
I loved how easy character development came from the flashbacks, from the intro that we did. Like London said, like there was so much more to the character by the end of it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like all of these characters had a tremendous amount of history, even though this is a one-time session that we had. Like I know this sounds really silly, but if Brindlewood Bay starring these four women was a TV show, like I would not miss an episode.
Yeah, great. Any other stars?
It's like forced role play, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that one of the things that other systems don't give you access to is like forcing you to role play. Like that flavor is up to you if you want it. And all the prompts here really make you think about the motivations of your character and how you want to like bring that to the table, which is really cool. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Debbie, any star?
So I like that if you look back at the trope of the elderly women as these gumshoe detectives, is that it's very cisgender, cisgender white female. And I love how this group just really brought this incredible diversity of that being able to have the ethnicity. I love the fact that both not just the bywalk aspect, but as far as sexual orientation and identity, and also Lakshmi in regards to how her lifestyle was very different. But at the same time, I enjoyed being able to bring in that idea that there is a little bit of classism because there are people who would resent how Margarita came into wealth. And yet this group of women accepted her for how she was. So I think that's great that we're able to take this and just really evolve it as much as we did.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun DMing it, not knowing the murder and being able to like place the clues and then tie it into the story. That was a lot of fun for me on this side of the table. Any wishes that you would like to, something you'd like to see if this would ever be a next session?
I'd like to see it continue.
Yeah, I would too. Like, how would we do it? Yeah.
Honestly, I would be really content to do Mystery Maven Mysteries.
Well, I will say this: it is kind of on the horizon of this becoming very episodic. So new murder mavens come in and some stay, some go, kind of thing, and we'll see how it goes. Because I had a lot of fun with it, and it was really not a lot of prep on my end, so that makes it very, very appealing to run. Okay, any other wishes before we're gonna raid here in a second?
There were probably, I will say, I know it's a new RPG, so some of the aspects were maybe they'd be a little difficult for the first time player or GM to kind of sort out for themselves. The great thing is that I always know that you're really great about breaking things down, providing all the information, but then breaking it down. And then if we question, I mean, you're you're my second. You always say you're one of my top three DMs.
Thank you.
I can say I've got one of the other ones over here, and then Dustin's the other person, right? The thing is that take something that someone like you can take and be able to break it down for players, I think is really telling.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And there were a lot of things that we didn't even get to, and I think that's why the creators of Brindlewood Bay say run this one first. I think because you don't really get to a lot. Like, we didn't use a lot of our cozy items. There's not a lot of otherworldly things coming in yet. This is straightforward kind of murder mystery, kind of let's skimming the top of a lot of it. And I think that's a great introduction where at some point those other things and a little more peril comes into the faces of the murder mavens, which I would be excited to see. And eventually you're going to run out of crowns to put on, and you're going to have to put on those gold crowns. So